Okay, we are back again, and this time, as they all say, we're back for good. I would sing the song, but I don't actually know the words, and I can't remember if it was Take That, Matt. Was it Take That that sung it, Matt?
I think it might have been. I'm not sure.
We'll be back for good, back for good, back for good. Is that the one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Is it Take That or Boyzone? I can never remember which boy band.
It's got to be Take That.
It's got to be Take That, isn't it?
From like, okay, I'm sorry, Granddad.
Yeah, but look, yeah, they were the same era, Matt.
They were not the same era.
They were. If you Google it,
not. There's no way.
If you Google it, they were from the same area. Boyzone and Take That were from the same era. But isn't it? It's Boyzone and Take That sung Back for Good, and hopefully we are back for good. They are, aren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Thank you very much. Now you can apologise live on broadcast.
Okay, I will apologise and retract my statement.
Thank you very much.
Also,
that means
Back for Good was Take That.
Thank you. There you go. Back for Good was Take That. So hopefully we're back for good.
Oh wait, is that I Want You Back? I Want You
Back. Yeah. I want you back for good. Yeah, that's the one. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So welcome to the broadcast anyway. Much appreciated to you. You know, we are live on the Nxtgen GT3 Nxtgen Racing YouTube channel, and also on the JPB YouTube channel, and over on Facebook. So welcome in. I hope you are all well. And what more could you ask for? The fact that we open up with two commentators singing to you down the broadcast. So there you go. What more can you ask for? You know, hey, Matt, it's entertainment. It's entertainment, isn't it? You know, we're here to entertain.
We've got a few minutes before we start. We've got to do something.
Exactly, and we have run through the standings anyway, guys, as well. So if you have missed the standings, what I'll do, I'll bring them up back again, because we do have a little bit of time. So I'm going to bring you up the standings. So this is the current standings in bronze. We've got Mark Sykes in first, Darren Doherty second, Nigel Stock third, Daniel Seisman in fourth, Mark Biker in fifth, Baz Meacham sixth, Liam Tuck in seventh, Jorge Santos in eighth, Matt Emmons ninth, Rich Stanton in 10th, and Sam Holman in 11th. Now over into the silver we go. Adam Hedgecock is in first, Stefan Albanese in second, Paul Scott in third, Samuel de Oliveira in fourth, Paul Williams in fifth, Igor Bembic in sixth, Robert Adams in seventh, Francisco Santos Pereira in eighth, Paolo Antinori in 9th, and Sean Shute in 10th place. So over in gold, Tom Dadswell is in first, Chris Dane second, Mark Fletcher third, Gianni Peroni in fourth, Gareth Williams fifth, Gavin Gardner in sixth, Adam Watson seventh, Rafael DeSantis in eighth, Benji McCluskey in 9th, Simone Papaiola in 10th, Jamie Dory in 11th, and Carmelo Martello in 12th place. So there we go. That is the current standings, guys. And if you are here, please say hi. Don't forget to subscribe to all channels, whichever one you're watching on. Don't forget as well to give the video a big old thumbs up and turn on those bells from notifications, because you don't want to miss any of the action coming up on the respective channels. So there we go, Matt. We're coming into the last 1 minute 44 of practice. Hopefully we'll get away, and hopefully it won't be like the last start where it just all went a little bit peaked on. But then again, we were under red flag, so you know, what can we ask for?
Yeah, I mean, we probably should also mention as well that Tom Dadswell was given a penalty in the last race after an incident with Gianni Peroni. But we won't dwell on that. We'll get straight into the endurance race. Now, this is an endurance race, James. It's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, Tom Dadswell, Chris Daines did pretty good in the last two races, both getting first in the sprint race and the feature race, respectively. But this is a little bit different. 2 hours, you have to change your tire, all 4 tires at least once. And I believe it's almost expected for everyone to pit at least twice.
Yeah, they're running.
So there's going to be a much different strategy here, James.
Yeah, they're running on 80% fuel. Now, obviously, if you haven't been here before, this is what the endurance is involving. And also, they're in reverse grid. So they're in reverse grid based on table order. So Tom Dadswell, who's leading the gold, will start at the back of gold, not at the back of the field. Okay, he'll start at the back of gold. Same with Adam Hedgecock, will start at the back as well. So, you know, in the endurance race, drivers will need to and may be expected to pit twice. Changing all 4 tyres at least once is mandatory. Failure to do so will result in a DQ for that race. Now, we know that generally tyre wear, you can get, if you're sensible on your tyres, Matt, you can get about an hour, maybe a little bit more, depending how they get on. right? So,
yes, you can.
Yeah, so if these guys can only get an hour, they're going to at least have to put one set of tyres on. But they're running on 80% fuel, so it really does depend on how that fuel level and the use of tyres comes into play, because, you know, they've got some fast straights in that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is really going to put into play Chris Danes. I mean, obviously, we saw last race in the feature. His fuel saving is what got him that win. The strategy that we saw was absolutely textbook in that feature race. We have to wonder, is that going to play into Chris Danes' favor here? And here we're seeing the starting grid for this race. You've got Martello, Dory, Papaiolos, DeSantis, Gardner, and Peroni in the top 6. Then we're going to Fletcher, Danes, Dadswell, and Williams. And then we've got Adam Watson and Stefan Wessels heading up the back for gold. I believe that's because Adam Watson and Stefan Wessels did not attend last week's race, so they're starting in the back as a penalty for that.
Yeah, they did. They go to the back of the grid.
Silver, we have Robert Adams in 13th, Paul Williams, followed by Sandy Oliveira, Paul Scott, Stefan Albanese, and then Adam Hedgecock coming in 18th. We got Santos, Sean Schutt, and Baz Meacham in 22nd for silver there, coming behind Liam Tack, who is in bronze. I'm not sure if that's a mistake, but we'll keep going. So we got Liam Tack heading up the bronze. We got Daniel Steinman, Nigel Stock in 24th, and we have a few more for the bronze tracks. How are you feeling about this grid, James?
I don't know, but we've just had a false start there. For some reason, we are on a standing start. Are we on? No. Oh, no. They've got a full pace lap, so we've got to talk for another 2 minutes and a bit. I intended just change tyres, said Adam Watson.
Oh, okay. Of course, yeah, because a change car will result in a point deficit, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no, not again. Shane is not being retracted again. We've just got a full pace lap this time and not half a corner.
All good.
We're all good, Shane. So don't hide me. Liam's in the pits. Liam Tack is in the pits. Now, I am sure Liam is listed in gold. Now, you are confusing me a little bit, and I'm a little bit scared. So if that isn't the case, I'm going to have to scroll all the way back through and just find out.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I believe it's in the announcement. I'm sure Liam Tack is listed as gold, as bronze.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah, Liam Tack is listed as bronze. Yes.
Right. Okay. So that is correct. Okay. So that's one little bit of a thing we don't have to worry about, because I did get a little bit panicky there when you went Liam Tack is down in bronze, and he's not. I don't know if he's supposed to be. But no, he is. It's all fine. We've got it all correct. But we are on a rolling start. Change from the Merc to the Audi. Good shout, Adam. I've got to be honest.
That's good. Honestly, yeah. I think I could see Merc to Audi being a pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good description there.
Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to really, want to stay within the Merc. I'm surprised Sitzman, Santos, and the Oliveira have, to be honest. But there we go. Who knows? Who knows?
James, while we're doing this little pace lap, what have you got your eyes on here for this race?
It's a 2-hour endurance, so really, anybody younger than 35 that can hold their bladder for 2 hours. I don't know, mate. What?
I wasn't expecting that to be.
No.
That came out of left field for me.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. If anybody's in YouTube chat, welcome into the broadcast by JPBroadcasting. I am James Parfitt. I've got Matt Zeniith alongside me as well. Welcome in. I hope you're having a fabulous time. Diego Lucas just,
welcome.
Yeah, Diego Lucas just putting smiley faces in chat. To be honest, mate, I don't know. It's an endurance, and it never, as we can see somebody on the grass already. That's in a BMW. I think that's Robert Adams has taken a little trip in silver on the grass. So look, Dadswell's at the back.
Scenic route.
Sorry?
Maybe he just took the scenic route. Wanted to see the grass.
Yeah, mate, I think he was just saving the groundsman grass cutting.
Yeah.
One of the Verano Motorsports got this. All right, so you got Gavin Gardner.
Seen a lot of sport for Verano.
Yeah. Maybe Chris Danes. I think maybe Chris Danes might have it. That might be interesting.
Honestly, yeah. I do. I have to say, Chris Danes is definitely going to be one to watch.
Yeah. I think Chris Danes.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Depending on how we get on. But it's not quite Race Spot TV. Sorry, Daswell. That's because, Look, dude,
better than race spot
yeah,
TV.
we're, you know, along the lines of we are better, but we bring the entertainment. You know, we don't need to be so serious, and we respond to chat messages as well. Not that I'm putting out accusations at all. There are other broadcasting channels available, but you just happen to be watching the one broadcast by JPB on the Nxtgen GT3. So, you know, what more could you ask for? Right, let's go again. Matt, here we go.
Here we go. Let's get a start going.
Let's get this going.
Are you ready for this, James?
No, because last time this happened, they all went crushed. They all crashed.
The safety car goes out. What's going to happen here?
Right, here we go. We are going to be green, green, green. And we are, Carmelo Martello is literally taking an absolute barnstorm. Ah, there's a big crash in the straight. Big crash.
What is happening there?
Oh my, no. There is literally a pile-up in the middle of the
Everyone's
straight.
spinning.
Look at this. It's just chaos. Chaos in the middle of the start of the endurance. I do not know who is in the race. I cannot tell you. All I can tell you is currently at this moment in time, there is nothing short of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cars involved in that pileup. And what an unbelievable beginning to this race. While Carmelo Martello shoots off, we're going to have another look and try and pinpoint where it started from. I'm going to head down.
My God.
Oh, yes. I'm going to head down to Rafael dos Santos because I got a funny feeling it kicked off from there. And hopefully we are not... Oh, no, we're not doing a full pace lap. I don't want to do the full lap again. Let's have a look at the crash. If I can find where...
Let's see if we can pinpoint what happened here.
Yeah, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to have a look. We're going to go Chopper. We're going to go Rafael dos Santos in the middle. It looks... There's the swap over. Oh, no, the BSR, the DBS swapped over. And look at this. It just goes in. Everybody's just still coming. Unbelievable.
There is no avoiding that.
No.
There is absolutely no avoiding that. What a start to this race.
Yeah, Liam Tack manages to avoid it because he went down the pit lane. So good job there, buddy. Started from the pits. But that was, I don't think some of these drivers are taking this seriously. Well, I can't really answer that question, but it began with Rafael dos Santos. They're in the pits. Gavin Gardner is also in as well. This long old pit lane here at Road America. But really, we should really catch up with our leader, Carmelo Martello.
Yeah, Carmelo Martello. He's got to be feeling himself right now after managing to get away from that crash.
Yeah, I think
what a start.
I think
16 car pilot.
Absolutely unbelievable. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Daniel Sitzman as well in the Mercedes, who's currently up 16 places with an hour and 57 back on the clock. So, you know, at the end of the day, Daniel Sitzman there is absolutely smashing this and is currently in 7th place overall, first in class. So let's bring you up the class display leaders at the top. Martello, Santos and Sitzman are your current class leader, with Francisco Santos currently sitting in 5th overall at 14th place. So that is just unbelievable there. Mark Fletcher in the pits, Baz Meacham, Tom Dadswell, Adam Watson, Paul Scott, Robert Adams, Liam Tack, Rafael dos Santos and Paul Williams. They are all in the pits, guys, and I think you can have to admit that has been an absolute chaotic start, Matt, wouldn't you say?
That really has. I mean, you wanted entertainment here. This isn't Racebot TV. You wanted entertainment, you got it. I'm not quite sure what happened here, but we're coming around to this is an endurance race, so we've got 2 hours left of this, and we've already had a massive pile-out. We can only think what's going to happen left.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got people in bronze up in the top 10 right now. We've got Mark Sykes, we've got Santos, we've got Doherty, all up in the top 10. We've got Oliveira, and I believe, sorry, Sitzman as the other bronze player. Sorry, not Santos. Santos sitting in 5th as a silver. But it's a pretty good start for these guys, you got to think.
I think it was just chaotic. I don't even know if we could sit back and look through and see if we can analyse what happened. But at the moment, all we see is Santos go right. And that was it. It's just one after the other. I'm not sure why that move would have been made that early on. I'm so confused why he didn't stay in the lane. But...
he turned right and then seemed to turn back into the other cars after he hit one.
Yeah, I'm
not sure what happened there.
I don't know. I'm going to try and have a look in his cockpit and see. Look, here we go. So then we're on board with DeSantis now. He literally turns right. There's a car there. And then it's just all chaotic. Look, here comes everybody else storming in. Look, there they all are.
What a pile-up. I mean...
Yeah,
I mean, we've got an entire two-hour race left to do, but I don't even know if we're going to have much left in us after that with all this happening.
No, and it reminds me of Watkins Glen going up the S's section of Watkins Glen. If you've ever raced at Watkins Glen, you'll know what I mean. When somebody has a pile-up. Yeah, somebody has a pile-up up through the S's and blocks the whole road. And that's it. You're at a parking lot because it is not very long.
Yeah. But then, we were worried about turn 5.
And we were worried about turn 5. They didn't even make it off the start. So,
honestly.
You know what I mean? Right, guys, we've got an hour and 54 left on the clock. We got a lot of people that have already made one stop already. Liam Tack has made a stop, but that's because he probably actually started from the pits, I think. So we've got quite a few. Gavin Gardner's made a stop. Then everybody, listen to the list from Gianni Perrone, Chris Daines, Baz Meacham, Mark Fletcher, Tom Dadswell, Adam Watson, Paul Scott, Robert Adams, Rafael DeSantis and Paul Williams. They've all stopped already.
Holy.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of needed after a crash like that, but I mean, what's that going to do to the rest of that race? They've stopped already. They're on 80% fuel. And they've still got 2 hours left. They might need to do 2 more stops after this.
Yeah, I know, and that's the scary thing. You know, Adam Edgecock hasn't, but then there is the list of everybody else below them, as you can see on the bottom of your timing tail, that have stopped. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be, well, not something that they would have been rather wanting to do this early on, I think. And now they're all just in a battle. Sam De Oliveira is chasing down Daniel Sitzman currently at the moment. They are one of your closest battles on the screen. Lap 4, and, you know,
I'm still flustered, James. I mean, what is happening? Martello is just... I mean, he managed to get away from the pack right at the start, so he wasn't in that crash in maybe the first 10 races.
Yep.
So they're all pretty decently close. I mean, we've got, what, a 4.5 second gap between Martello and Dory. Another 7 seconds between Martello and Papaiola. But after that, 13 seconds up to Wessels.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive.
What is happening?
It is a huge gap. I don't know if they didn't expect to be able to do this, but big wiggle there. Yeah, from Sitzman in the Merc. What I don't think, you know, they were expecting is it for all to go wrong at the beginning of lap, you know, well, the start line. We didn't really get lap 1.
I mean,
but
we wanted to get a few laps in before everything went wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the thing now. Is the problem is obviously we've got Nigel Stock there as well in the Audi. He's just been passed on that run up into turn 6 as well. So he's going to go right up through 7, up through Hurry Downs into the sharp left-hander of 8 is Nigel Stock, currently in the bronze class. We've actually got more bronze in the top 11 than we have. No, they actually draw in with gold. There's about the same amount of bronze as there is gold in the top 11.
That's not something you usually see, James. That's really not.
No, and it's not something that we would have expected either this early on, to be fair, because I thought people would have actually had a storm away and try to get away from it all. But, you know, it is what it is. This is where we're at. We've got... I can't believe I'm saying this still. We've got an hour and 51 remaining, and we're on the battle here with Liam Tack and Stefan Albanese from the DRS Esports team there, car number 45, chasing down Liam Tack in the Ferrari. Now, Liam's actually having a barnstorming race here, mate, isn't he? He's currently 4th in class, 11th overall, so really he's just got to kind of keep it on track.
Yes, he does. I mean, he's in a bit of a car sandwich at the moment, got to admit. But stuck between a rock and a hard place between Albanese and Emmons. Obviously, we saw Albanese last race absolutely storming, did great in his class. He got second.
Oh, he's gone round!
Oh, he's gonna crash! Liam Tack gets spun out by Albanese.
No, he lost it all on his own. Careful, he lost it all on his own. Liam Tack went off track first. He goes over the exit. Watch the exit. There's the exit curb.
And he gets whacked by Albanese, you couldn't stop. There we go.
So it wasn't all on Albanese on that one, I'm afraid. That is part of Liam Tack's responsibility. So you see him over the curb and around he goes. So unfortunately, Albanese kind of had nowhere to go. So that could be, unfortunately, Liam Tack may have damage. I'm going to presume he would do. Yeah, his rear right is looking rather bashed up, so we have to see how he can recover from that. There's an interesting battle down in 15th, 16th and 17th. These are the guys that were involved at the beginning. I believe it was actually Chris Daines that was involved with Rafael DeSantis. And unfortunately, Chris has now dropped all the way down in the order to 15th. He's chasing down car number 35, sorry, which is Gianni Perone, Matt.
Yeah, Gianni Perone, obviously another great player in these races, has been absolutely strapped by this beginning incident. I mean, Gianni Perone coming second, I believe, maybe second or third in the feature race last week, just below Tom Dadswell, if I remember correctly. But here we go, Perone and Daines. I mean, we weren't expecting them to be this low, and chasing Nigel Stock of the bronze class up in number 13. And there is a 3-second gap between them. Yeah. This is going to be really interesting. These guys are really close together right now. They're coming around the bend here. I believe this is King Cup here, coming around.
Canada corner. One ahead of yourself.
Canada corner. I was almost there.
One ahead of yourself, young sir. Commentator's curse, says Dadswell. Yes, mate, very much so indeed. We did just say how well Liam Tack was doing, and then all of a sudden, commentator cursing him. So we do apologise.
At least it wasn't me this time.
No.
I cursed Dory last week. You cursed Tack this week. And Headshot's going to head into the pit while we're doing this, I believe.
Yeah, so...
That's going to be interesting.
You know, well, Daines is going to make the move over Perone, so Daines is now through.
Nice little pass there to get back to turn 1. Looking a little bit of a flashpoint there, but we've got to wait until we get to time 5. Turn 5 is going to be interesting.
Yeah, they're going to come down this long moraine sweep. I think Perone is going to get the draft on the back of Chris Daines here as we start making our way down the moraine sweep. They're coming down into turn 5. It's going to be hard on the brakes. Is Perone going to be looking at making a move on the inside? He's got to get on the brakes now. He's not going to be close enough this time. However, down in 16th, 17th and 18th, that's Dadswell, Fletcher and Meacham. These guys are likely to be in the move on the way down, especially Baz Meacham, who's behind Mark Fletcher. Baz in the Audi there. Again, another man who couldn't get close enough this time around. But there's another battle with Gavin Gardner and Stefan Albanese. Gardner from Verano Motorsports there with the purple wheels. Albanese from DRS Esports, which was involved with the beginning. I believe we've had an incident with Mark Sykes, and this is where Mark had his off. Just beyond that, actually, I need to go a little bit back. Let me just see if we can go back initially to his initial off track.
Unfortunate for Mark Sykes. It was a great player last week. He had a storm of a race last week, but unfortunate to have another incident here. Oh, that's rough. Just coming off the edge there, slamming into the wall. Yeah, that's not what you want to see.
That was actually in front of the Tack and Albanese move there. If you watch it in the background, you'll see as Mark Sykes comes round, you'll see the Tack. So there's Mark Sykes. We'll keep it running for a minute, and then in a brief moment, he's done the same as what Tack did. If you look in the background, there's the Tack.
Oh my God.
There's the Tack Albanese. So Sykes just put it in front of them, and unfortunately crashed it round. So
what is happening here, James?
It's easily done.
Everything's kicking off, and it's not even been 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And the worst thing is now Sykes is, I believe, is possibly out now. Oh no, he's still moving. Mark Sykes is back out on track. So there we go. Good old Mark Sykes getting the cut. That beam out under white. Liam Tack is now being chased down by Chris Daines and Gianni Perone. Not two people I would want behind me.
No, you would not. These guys are two forces to be reckoned with. Chris Daines, obviously a very decorated racer, and he's going for the offensive turn here. He's just managed to get to the inside. Perone trying as well. They both overpass. Nice offensive play there by Chris Daines and Perone to overtake Liam Tack there.
Yeah, poor Tack though. He's just kind of, you know, got eaten alive there, wasn't he? Oh, Liam Tack.
He's just had a bit of a rough turn there, just overshooting it a little bit, sliding into the grass. Liam Tack starting off with a stellar performance, but it seems to have kind of crashed and burned here 15 minutes in. Hopefully he can bring it back by the end of the 2 hours.
I think he's going to need to pit, I think his car could be relatively damaged to the point of where he may need to pit. And I think that, he's coming around Carousel now. He's going to be going right round to the kink. And I think if I was Liam Tack, I'd be looking at taking that Ferrari into the pits currently, because if he doesn't, he could be under a caution, get another one, another off track or another incident that he really doesn't need for himself. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's that's the thing, and I think Liam really has now got to play the long game and get that Ferrari into the pits and see whatever the kind of damage he has got, and he's get back up. Daswell, that poor guy goes up every time you mention him. Well,
yeah, we need to stop mentioning Tack. I mean,
yeah, but you can't.
We really seem to be cursing him here.
Yeah, but you can't blame us all the time. I'm sorry.
We're the casters. We're always to blame.
You can't blame us all the time, because at the end of the day, we're not in the car. You know what I mean? It's just.
Also, by the way, while this is all happening, Sitzman is still leading bronze in number 7 ahead of Oliveira, Emmons, and Gardner, sitting pretty at the top of the bronze class, and Santos top of the silver class, 5th, a whole 7 seconds ahead of Williams.
Poor old Sitzman's kind of on his own. He's in this kind of no man's land that basically Gazza Williams is 3.5 seconds in front of him, and then he's got Sam de Oliveira behind him, a further 6.5. So really Sitzman's just got to kind of get on with it and kind of sort of get on to his racing, because at the end of the day, he's not really battling with anybody, so the concentration can go. I think that's where I was going. It just took me a long-winded way to get to the end of my story.
I knew where you were going.
Yeah, I knew where I was going as well. But that gives us a chance, guys, to have a look at a driver focus currently. And the driver focus for this specific half an hour is Mark Sykes. So Mark here as well, age 47. Been sim racing for 8 years, if not longer, he said. So he can't remember. He's definitely old because he can't remember how long he's been sim racing, which is me all over. But then again, I know that I've only been sim racing for a couple of years. I've been playing games for a long, long time. So Mark Sykes, we got hold of Mark earlier on. We said to him, Mark, what is your biggest inspiration in motorsport? He's put Jenson Button. Just an all-round great guy. I think that is nothing short of unbelievably truth. Senna, and then he's put obviously after it as well. So Ayrton Senna there, one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time great of Formula One. And if anybody disagrees with me, hit me up in the DMs and we'll have a long-winded conversation about it. And also he's put Kimi Räikkönen. Now Kimi Räikkönen, as we know, is the Iceman of F1. So I understand Kimi, and I remember Kimi at Spa, full throttling down Camel Straight through an accident. He went through a massive puff of smoke, not knowing what was on the other side, and Kimi Räikkönen just went hurtling through. So there we go. The greatest achievement in iRacing, sim or real life? We asked Mark earlier on. Mark's reply was being the co-owner of Nxtgen Racing and building what is today, and owner of Mark Sykes Designs, one of the best virtual livery designers out there. Lol, he's put on the end. Now, I've seen some of Mark's designs for livery, and I have to admit the guy is absolutely incredible at designing liveries, and he's probably got his own there as well. So hit up Mark if you do want to have any liveries done. You can get him hold of him in the Nxtgen Racing Discord as well, but he is available on Twitter at Mark Sykes Designs. I believe he is on Twitter as well. So that rounds out our driver focus for this 15 minutes on Mark Sykes here for the Nxtgen Racing GT3 Endurance. And that allows us nicely to move up the field a little bit further with Sean Shute, who's under attack from Mark Fletcher and Tom Dadswell.
It's not a position you want to be in between Fletcher and Dadswell. Dadswell and Fletcher, obviously two great races. Fletcher coming in the inside. That was a tight turn there with Fletcher managing to take over from Shute. Yeah,
he's gone round in the inside of the carousel. So, Mark Fletcher doing an absolute stellar job there. It's really weird, because that incident at the beginning has given us a really spread out field. We've got the thing about it is that we've got the guys coming through the order that were involved in it in gold. So the likes of Adam Watson, Mark Fletcher, Tom Dadswell, Gianni Perrone, Chris Daines, they were all coming through the field now because they were all involved in that first, well, it didn't even get to the first turn really, the start line incident, should we say, that involved Rafael de Santos taking a very diverted road to the right, I suppose, which was probably unexpected from probably 99% of the field. So there we go.
Everyone, I don't think even DeSantis expected that.
No.
Also, I think we should mention, I believe DeSantis is actually out of the race. I believe I saw that come up in just a second ago.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he is out. He's not moving at all. But I think the thing is with that, I can understand what DeSantis was doing. And most people are going to sit there and go, James, what the hell are you on about? What he was trying to do from that start, he was trying to use the draft of his teammate, which is, I believe, Papa Iola was in front of him, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but possibly not.
I believe you're right there.
Yeah,
I believe it was Papa Iola.
Papa Iola was in front of him. So he was trying to get the draft from Papa Iola. And unfortunately for that, he didn't gamble on the fact that Chris Daines was going to be beside him. So as he's come beside him, and he's obviously gone to the right to try and pick the draft up of his teammate, boom, Chris Daines was there. They didn't get a long enough gap between his car and Chris Daines to allow him to come across to the right. And, you know, I'm sure his spotter would have been going crazy saying car right, car right, car right, because it does for mine. And I drive radicals. I don't even drive these cars. As we can see here, Matt Emmons just getting overtaken by Gavin Gardner. Two different classes there at all. If I was Matt, let him go, Matt. Just follow him and stick with him as close as you can. So I think that's what the intention of DeSantis was, but I don't think it was constructed or played, shall we say, in a very good way.
Definitely. I mean, we've got to applaud Matt Emmons, though. Still fighting against the gold class. He didn't want to give that spot up to Gardner. He fought for it. It didn't quite work out for him, but he did fight for it. I think we've got to applaud him for that. I mean, he's still got a pretty big gap between him and Dane, so he's going to be sitting pretty in the 10th spot for a while. I mean, we're also nearly half an hour into this race, and even after that massive crash and all that's happening, we've still got 2 bronze players in the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Which is
pretty impressive, to be fair.
Yeah, it really is.
But the problem is for Emmons is he's on 2:04.56s. Chris Daines doing 2:03s, and he's only got a 4.5 second gap. Hey guys, shame I can't race tonight due to work, but with a lap 1 incident, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, says Benji Racing in YouTube. Yes, I believe it was. However, I would like to point out that Rafael de Santos has just apologised to everybody. So fair play to him. He's come out and has literally declared what we expected him to declare. We've just got, this is breaking news from Rafael de Santos. He's just put, very sorry to everyone that got involved in the crash at the start. It was my fault. Not looking, completely lost it, all of the focus. This will not happen again, and you can be sure I'm more mad and embarrassed at myself than you are at me. So all I can say is that I apologise thoroughly for what happened. Sorry for ruining your evening, and good luck for everyone for the rest of the race. So that is an official statement from Rafael de Santos. There isn't any, not through his press officer, not through the man running the propaganda. That is an official statement from Rafael de Santos there, who's come out and generally said he has apologised to everybody in the race for what happened at the beginning. So fair play to him. You know, everybody will respect a man that apologises rather than one that doesn't. And as I say, that is an official statement from Rafael de Santos there as well. So much love to him for apologising and fully respectful as always. So there we go.
100%. Give it up to DeSantis for that. It's always a good sign of character when someone apologizes almost immediately after they do something. So we gotta love it.
Yeah, yeah.
As we come back to the race here, by the way, sorry to interrupt you there. We got Shoot Watson here looking pretty tight. Watson maybe hoping to get a little bit of an offense against Shoot here. We're going to have to see what happens coming up to this turn. Right on the straight, apologies.
Yeah, we're going down.
I'm losing my mind, man.
You're losing your mind. Is there anything I can do?
I'm still frazzled.
Yeah, is there anything I can do to help as we see Mark Fletcher on the left-hand side and Sean Shute going on the right there? This is obviously 2 different multi-classes Watson in the gold, Shoot in the silver. Watson makes his way through as he goes down turn one, dropping down the hill. Is going to come into the right-hander of 3 now. That is the Audi in the blue and white Altitude Esports livery of Adam Watson there as well in the Audi, making his way down Moraine Sweep. Is going to be coming down what they do classify as a corner, but I'm not entirely sure we can because I don't see it as a corner. But Mark Seitz is making his way back through the order. He's currently at the back a lap and is bit down. So Mike Sykes did unfortunately lose out and he's gone down the order. So poor old Mark Sykes now down the bottom. Yeah, he's 1 lap down at the moment. DeSantis is out. Paul Williams is also listing as a lap down as well. I think he's near enough, give or take, close enough to the fact that the system will pick him up and say he is a lap. Definitely. But I think the thing with that is as well that now, Mark's pitted. He was in the pits for about 3.5 minutes. Now, obviously, as the race goes on, he may get some of this back, but whether or not he would get the whole 3.5 minutes is a little bit, we're going to find out really after that. But I think the interesting thing is here, why we're doing this. Carmelo Metelo has pulled out basically a 12.7 second lead.
Wow, what? That is absolute insanity from Carmelo Metelo. They bring out 12 seconds. I think we have to say a little bit of luck there coming out, maybe perhaps.
Oh, 100%.
Round 1 incident.
100%.
Dory also wasn't involved in that incident. No. Dory and Martello were 2 of the main people who managed to get away from it. So Martello, we gotta give him props for managing to get that much of a gap ahead of Dory. I mean, they started in the same space. They did not end in the same space, I can tell you that much.
I think that's one of the things with endurance racing in general is the fact that, there's so much that can happen, and there was so much for unexpected things that happen as well. And it's almost played a knock-on effect. I think we're going to have to get to the end of the first hour once the pit stops take shape to be able to get everybody back close together, because I think what's happened now is obviously where that incident happened. We've obviously got the whole field spread out currently, and that's where we're at the moment. But I think once Martello, Dory, Papaiola, Wessels, Santos, Williams, Seisman, Oliveira, Gardner and Emmons all pit, I think that's where the field's going to be coming back together.
Definitely. But we've also got to remember the other guys do have to pit as well. So it's going to be a bit interesting depending on the pit strategy. But it's gonna take a lot of work for some of these guys to get back. But when they do get closer, we're gonna really be able to see who's got what it takes to win this endurance race. Because we knew this would be an interesting one, right, James? Endurance races are always a little bit spicier than the regular ones. We knew something was gonna come into this.
Yeah, I don't think we expected it so early on, mate.
No, lap 1 definitely was not what we expected. I mean, I was expecting a bit of a crash at some point. I mean, I have to admit, I feel like I've got a little bit of shades in me, because I was kind of hoping for one, because they were quite interesting. But when it comes to a lap 1 16 car pileup, I'm not sure what happens here.
Yeah, no.
We got people like Dadswell. We got people like Dadswell all the way down. I mean, we've got Peroni and Dane still in 12th and 11th behind Matt Emmons. Apologies. Yeah, they're catching up now. But...
Yeah, we got Stock has just overtaken Liam Tack. Now, obviously, everything we've had with Liam this evening, every time we're on in, I'm not going to spend too much time down here with Nigel Stock and Liam Tack because I don't want to, unfortunately, punish the young man anymore. But however, we will jump on board with Matt Emmons, and he's being chased down by Chris Daines. Now, this looks a very one-sided battle, and Matt is just probably going to stay to the left-hand side. Chris is going to send it up the inside of the Moraine Sweep. At the end of the sweep into turn 5, different braking points, same car, mind you, and around he goes. So that is Chris Daines making his way back through the field, up into 10th. He's still down 2 on his grid slot. However, he's not matching Daniel Sitzman, who's up at 16, and Francisco Santos, who's up 14 positions.
Exactly. I mean, also, Sitzman's still sitting up in 7th this whole time. He's doing pretty good for himself. Up 16 spaces. You got to think, can he keep it? Is the main question.
Well,
because I mean, it's going to be difficult. He has a bronze class, so when it comes to fighting against the gold and the silver class drivers, as we see him getting chased down by Oliveira there, a little bit of a gap between them. but not much.
Yeah, it's 4.7 seconds currently at the moment. Daniel Sitzman last lap time was a 2:04.04, which was his fastest lap time.
It's a pretty good lap.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Exactly. But then again, we've got Camelo Mettello doing 2:02.73s, but we have got a difference in about 3,000 IR and obviously 2 different classes. So, you know, the fair play to Daniel Sitzman there. He's absolutely killing what he can do in that car currently as well. As we can see here, we've got Samuel de Oliveira. I don't believe that is actually Oliveira. That is car number 25. That is Robert Adams there.
Oh, we got a bit of a lap situation going on. I see. Apologies.
Yeah,
so that's Robert Adams sitting in 23rd.
No, 25th. That's Paul Williams.
I can't read, James.
No, it's not. I forgot. The window has their position. So, like, Sitzman has 7.
There we go. Yeah.
Williams has got 25.
Okay, right.
All right. So the window is.
My glasses.
Yeah. Well, I've got very focused. So you know we need them. I can't see past me end of my nose. If I don't point my nose at something, it don't work. Liam Tack has finally got that Ferrari into the pits. I think that's probably the right thing to do. Albanese is being chased down by Tom Dadswell here, so we have to keep an eye on this one. I think Dadswell is going to trying to take the outside up the Moraine into turn 5. His overspeed is quicker anyway, and I think Dadswell is going to make that move. So that's Dadswell up into 9th place in class, 13th overall. I think that's where the spice is going to come from, Matt, is the fact that all of these drivers are making their way back through the field.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we're obviously, as the race levels out, we're going to see the classes start to kind of merge again. We're going to see them come back together. We're going to see Santos and Oliveira and Sitzman probably dip below the gold classes as we come in towards the final edge of the race. Obviously, that might not happen. There is always a chance. I mean, it's live racing. Anything can happen. We could still see Santos sitting up at 5th at the end of this race. We don't know. I mean, there's a 13 gap between him and Williams at the moment. Another 6-second gap between Williams and Sitzman. Another 5-second gap between Sitzman and Oliveira. But once we see them close up, that's really where we're going to get the spice. Yeah, I think because that's where things happen.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, and he's going to be closing up after the pit stops. I think to be honest, you know, it's going to be the pit stops that's going to really make the difference. I think, you know, as we can jump into the cockpit with Albanese here, because of the fact that they all end up coming back together, and at the end of the day, you know, fair play, because that's the way the pit stops work, and it will bring spicier action. Now, what we don't want to see is all the people that have done exceedingly amazing, as Daniel Sitzman, Matt Emmons, Oliveira, Santos, lose where they're at in retrospect to what their positions is, because obviously they're going to pit. They're going to drop down the order. Now, if they're not as fast to catch up with the guys who are on their continuous laps, should we say, they're going to lose their positions, which would be a right shame for them, for drivers, because they have kind of driven, you know, driven their heart out.
They're driving their hearts out, yeah. I mean, they're definitely driven their hearts out. Also, what we're saying is Martello has currently extended the gap from 12 to 15 seconds between him and Jamie Dory. So we're going to have to wait for Martello to pit. We're going to have to, once especially these top 4, Martello, Dory, Papiola, and Wessels pit, that's really going to be where it spices out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta hope that these players can keep racing the way they are.
They'll get through, but it's once you get to a certain point of tiredness, and you know, 2 hours is a long old time in a car. You know, it's like doing a stint. You know what I mean?
Really is.
Yeah, I can't drive from here to London, and that's only 2 hours away from me without stopping at Fleet Services. You know what I mean? And that ain't always. Mate, I love Fleet Services. The Scott Mills Bridge.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, Scott Mills Bridge. You know what I mean? Let's not forget the Scotty Mills Bridge down at Fleet Services.
Yeah.
Named after the Radio 1. I don't know if he's still Radio 1. I don't listen to Radio 1 for a while. Is Scott Mills still on Radio 1? Possibly.
I'm not sure. I don't really listen to the radio much.
No, me neither.
I mainly listened to the radio broadcast when some of the Royals died, because the radio dance was really funny the way they did the broadcast on a beat drop.
Oh, nice.
That's for another day.
Yeah, for another conversation. So, you know, as we can see here, Gavin Gardner from Verano is chasing down Sam de Oliveira down the long straightaway, leading in to the fast right-hander of turn 1. They're going to go down through the gears. Let's jump on board Oh, not the...
Gavin Gardner, they're coming around the turn 1, bit of a flashpoint, not much happening there, can't quite get close. As we're saying this, Albanese goes into the pit, but we'll stick in the cockpit with Gardner. Could be going on the inside here, but just doesn't get enough space. So we gotta give it up to Oliveira here, fighting off Gavin Gardner pretty well. We're gonna have to see what comes around to turn 5 though.
Dreaded turn 5, yeah, as we drop down right up behind him. Going to go to the left-hand side here. Gardner is trying to make a move. We're in that whistling Porsche. You can hear it in 6th gear. When it gets into 6th, there is that mad whistle of this Porsche car, which is deafening if you're driving the thing. It's, you know, absolutely unbelievable. But that is Gavin Gardner up into 10th place. I don't really feel we need to continue on board because Gardner now has gone past De Oliveira, and Papi Iola is got basically Stephen Wessels less than 50% behind him, 5/10 of a second behind him.
There we go.
There we go.
We got there eventually.
Hey, look, man, it's been a long day. You know
It has been. It's
So-
been a long day for both of us.
Yeah. So Papa Iola is currently in 3rd place.
Yeah, he's been catching up on Dory a little bit, ever so slowly. That gap between Papiola and Dory is ever so slightly closing. We're gonna have to see if he can fend off Wessels though. Wessels is nothing to shout at, nothing to sniff at. Apologies. He's a pretty good racer. So we're gonna have to see how he can hold up to Papiola. Obviously, Papiola doing pretty good last week. Here we go.
That was Albanese coming out the pits, and I believe that was a very fast approaching Audi of Jamie Dory there, flashing Albanese to make sure he can get him through and out of the way, because obviously these guys are coming through. Wessels and Papa Iola. Papa Iola is coming through the order, so you know, they're trying to close him down as these guys are heading down the marine sweep, and then down into turn 5. I'm not expecting Wessels to make that move, but let's not forget Wessels made that move. He was at the back of the gold because obviously he missed the first race, so he didn't get any points on.
Yeah, he did. Was he even in last week's race?
No, he missed it completely.
No,
That's why.
Yeah. That's why he started behind, but he's done pretty well for himself, getting back up to 6th.
Yeah, absolutely, because at the end of the day, you know, he's put the effort in. He managed to, I'm going to say, avoid. I think, to be fair, I think that's the word that we really need to try and emphasize, is the fact that the people that are not a lap down or not have to gone into the pits or anything like that, are these the people that avoided the carnage of down the start-finish straight. So at the end of the
start line.
The start line, we didn't even get to the start line, yeah. So we go back on board with Baz Meacham, who is trying to chase down Paul Scott currently as well. So there is Baz Meacham in the Audi, chasing down Paul Scott. Also in the Audis, we've got 2 Audis here as well. More importantly, they are from the same class as well. So
Audi off. Coming into this, Baz Meacham, Scott.
It's a silver Audi off.
Yeah. They're both pretty good racers. I mean, I don't know if we saw Baz Meacham last week. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a long week, but they're both pretty decent. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to. Baz Meacham obviously going to have to put on a bit of an offense here, try and get around Scott. He's going to have to get quite a few good turns. He's going to have to get on that inside track.
Yeah.
If he wants to come in here, and also, by the way, the gap between them, as you were saying before, from they avoided, is very noticeable now, because we got Santos up in 5th with 23 seconds behind Martello, and Williams with another 14-second gap between him and Santos. So we can see the kind of border starting to form there between the people who avoided the issue and people who didn't.
Yeah, and these are Chris Daines and Gianni Perrone here as well. On the right-hand side is the Altitude Esports, and on the left is Verano. They're both in the Beamers here, 12th and 11th. Perrone in the Verano on the right. Oh, no. That's what's trying to run it wide. They're going to go down into turn 3. How is this going to work out? The gap's got to be there. You've got to leave room, remember.
I mean, we did have an incident between Top Dadswell and Gianni Perrone last week, so maybe there could be a little bit of a feud going on here, James.
Well, let's hope these guys don't battle it out and put each other in the wall, however. Perrone has just settled in behind Dadswell now to try and pick up his toe as he's heading down the hill into turn 5. They're going to be on the right-hand side, braking at about the 100, maybe a little bit further back, actually, on the 2 board. As we can see, Dadswell get the car. Big sideways spin from Dadswell, but he's now up into 11th place at this moment in time, because
Tom
obviously...
Dadswell leading the pack at the moment. Coming in number 1, starting into this race. We started at the back of the goal, aside from people who missed last week's race. Faz Meacham heading into the pits as we're saying this, but Tom Dadswell, we gotta think he's one to watch as well, James. Obviously, I don't want to curse him, but
yeah, be careful.
After last week, you've got to keep an eye on him. He's pretty fast.
Well, I think
him and Perone.
Yeah, I think pretty fast. Rapid.
Yeah, rapid. That's probably a better word.
Yeah, rapid would be a word I use. Tom Dadswell, 4.5K I rating. He's he's no slouch, mate. You know what I mean? He's one of the highest in the field, along with Mark Fletcher. So these guys know their way around the racetrack. So fair play to them. We have got a lot of people coming into the pits now. Baz Meacham is in there. Matt Emmons has been in there. Matt has been in there for a long old time currently. Over 3.5, gone 3 minutes now as Matt Emmons. So he is currently still in the pits. So I'm not sure what happened to Matt Emmons. I'll try and have a look and see if I can find anything.
We've got Wessels in the pit as well, one of our first front runners.
Here we go. So there is Emmons, and that is Perone. Car number 35 is Gianni Perone. Gave Matt Emmons, not the best picture there because we were behind a tree, a gentle little love tap. And unfortunately, that car does not look healthy at all. Crabbing, so he must have hit a wall. Did he manage to stop that?
Who knows? I mean...
No, look, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he did. So why was he crabbing?
Just managed it.
I don't understand why he was crabbing so badly.
Maybe a bit of tyre wear, maybe.
Unless that's side... No, I do wonder if that's side damage there into Emmons. Yeah, because his wheels are bent in.
And maybe it was a bit of a harder tap than we first realised, James, because... He's definitely crabbing a bit there, and that wasn't from a wall hit, so...
No, and that's where he goes round.
Oh, unfortunate for Matt Emmons there.
Yeah, Perone is in the pits, Adams is in the pits as well. No! Perone span.
Oh.
So,
what is happening today, James?
I would say they've all had their Weetabix, but I'm not entirely sure.
And we've got our first few front runners going into the pits as well.
Oh,
that's not a nice hit.
No, that was Gianni Perone in the last corner, I believe, and literally putting it straight bare face into that tyre barrier. And if he's got any sense, he will just divert into the pits, and there he goes.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah, so that is exactly how that happened. We've got Jamie Dorey, Francisco Santos, Daniel Sitzman, Samuel de Oliveira in the pits currently as well. Gavin Gardner is making his way up past all of these people. So is Chris Daines. Don't forget, these guys have already pitted. And so is Tom Dadswell as well. Now, that is a back marker behind him currently at the moment. So there we go. Do not be fooled with that back marker, which is going to be Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, pretty good racer. Has he pitched yet, James?
Yeah, he has. Yes, he has. 3 minutes 46 on the board, and he has pitted already. That was his pit stop time, so I think he got caught up in that beginning incident.
Yeah, he must have. I mean, that would definitely explain why he's so far back, because we saw him pretty recently doing pretty well, but that pit must have taken it out of him. And Oliveira and Sitzman coming out the pits, I believe that is.
Yeah, Sitzman.
We gotta hope Sitzman doesn't lose too many positions here from that little pit stop, because he was having one hell of a race. Doherty is now the class leader for the bronze.
Yeah.
Up in 11th place there, ahead of Scott and Wessels.
Dockett is obviously pitted as well. Dan Peebles, welcome in. This is looking like an incredible fight. You should have seen the start, mate.
Really?
It's Oliveira, Stock and Shoot is in the pits. Adams is in the pits as well. Your leader is currently in the pits at the same time. Yes, mate, there was a massive car park crash over the hill,
16 cars.
Yeah, 16 cars involved in the incident up over the hill. That was on the parade lap, mind you.
Yeah, it actually was. Thinking about it.
It was the end of the parade lap, wasn't it, before we went green?
Yeah, just before.
Yeah, just before we went green, there was a 16-car pole up. Is this a team format, or are all the drivers doing this on their own? The drivers are doing this on their own, young sir. They are all on their own. They are obviously in teams, and there are, I believe, from what I've read in the notes, there was. Did they mention?
I think the 3 teams that spring to mind are DRS, Altitude Esports, and Verano.
Yeah.
I think those definitely the 3 kind of front runner teams that spring to mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carmelo is left pits now. He's sitting at number 3.
He's, but then again, as I say, he's pitted, isn't he? So, yeah.
I mean, still number. No, he's out of the pits now. He's up into. He's coming around turn 3, heading down that straight.
Yeah. Heading down Moraine sweep here, Camillo Mettello, Papa Iola, Tom Dadswell, Gaza Williams are all in the pits as well. Don't forget there is a mandatory tyre change, and they're all at 80% fuel. That's where I was going. Thank you very much, man.
There we go.
That's
You're very welcome.
That's why you're here with me. You know what I mean?
I had a feeling that was what you meant.
Yeah, that keeps me on track. But we've got Carmelo Mettello here as well. Another one is Stephen Wessels. He's having an interesting battle with Papa Iola. And Daniel Sitzman is hopefully trying to make his way back through as field as well, because I don't want Sitzman to lose the amazing gains. He's an 11th place gain so far. Got to agree, that's
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Lightbridge and YouTube's there as well. So got to agree that start was something else. Yes, mate. If you've missed the start, we can hopefully, if we can get back far enough in the order, we'll show you the green flag drop from the chopper and what happened here tonight. If I can get back that far, is it
almost?
Almost. Is it going to allow me to? It's not. No. Oh, no, it didn't like it. Unfortunately, it is on the broadcast. Now, I'm going to take off the screen there before you guys get hold of me and say, James, I'm having, please take the screen off. I'm having fits here. No, unfortunately, I saw it, been here from the start. Oh, welcome in, Light Brigade. You could have said hi. Hi, James. How are you? I would have been like, hi, mate. I'm fine. Thanks. You?
Don't bite.
No, we don't bite. Mettello has just gone past all the cars and is back out in front at the moment while Gardner, Danes, Fletcher, Watson are in the pits. We're going to see how Jamie Dory gets on. He's coming around the last corner as well. Is he going to overtake? Hi, James. How are you? I'm fine, Light Brigade. Thank you very much for that.
I'm good too.
Oh, yeah, Matt's good as well. You know what I mean? Let's not forget that as well.
So good.
Yeah, so Jamie Dory is taking second place now. It's going to be where Darren Doherty and Francisco Santos, they're going to take him as well, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, it could be, if Simon can get round this last corner, he could be back up into his position, because Doherty's gone past, Wessels is going to go past, Papaiola's going to go past. Where is Daniel Sitzman? He is coming up now. There are people coming out of the pits. But if he goes as he is doing now, he should be currently in 7th place. He is.
That's pretty good.
Sitzman's flying at the moment in 7th. I tell you what, he's doing an absolute stellar job. Williams has made his wave as well. Yeah, give it up for Sitzman as well, guys. And Doherty, 4th place over there. Well. Yeah, 4th place overall. And he pitted on lap 3. So there we go. Yeah, and you too, like we go with that little emoji there with your tongue hanging out.
Santos is still in 3rd, thinking about it. Santos pitting on lap 20. So he's doing pretty good for himself there.
Yeah, absolutely. People are making gains, and they've done a lot of gains. And look at the position.
21.
Yeah, Doherty is 20. I know. It's insane. And he pitted on lap 3. So
what is happening, James?
Yeah, I don't know tonight. It's just all gone a little bit wrong.
I feel like we stepped into the twilight zone or something. What is happening?
I think the interesting thing about this as well is the fact only 2 bronzes. No, there is more. They're further down the order from 20th downwards. So we've got Stock in 20th, Sykes in 22nd, Emmons in 24th, Liam Tack down in 26th. So there is more. The Timing Tower is obviously listed at having 20. But, as it's you and you want to see what's going on, there are the rest of the bronzes there on the left-hand side for you. Gavin Gardner is locked in this battle with Chris Daines and Adam Hedgecock as well. So Adam Hedgecock doing an absolutely stellar job this evening, as always. Now, he did something, I think, that only a brave man would do from Adam Hedgecock. He sent me his driver form. And earlier on, no. And what I'll do, I'll read it out as the last driver of the driver focus. I'll read out Adam Hedgecock's last driver focus. I did check with Adam and say, are you sure? He said, James, go for it. So that's what I'm going to do. I will read out Adam Hedgecock's driver focus because I think, to be fair, it's going to, you'll all sit back and just be like, fair play to Adam Hedgecock there. So we'll see how it goes on. So we've had driver focus of Mark Sykes.
Mark Sykes.
Yeah. So now we're going to go down into Nigel Stock here. Current age driver focus at the moment is Nigel Stock in the Audi, 3rd overall in bronze and currently sitting down in 19th place. Nigel here, age 32. He's been sim racing for 5 years. He's just unfortunately made a mistake there while we've got the cameras on him. That's just always typical. But he's still out in track, so that's fine. His favourite sim, obviously, iRacing. So he's been driving for 5 years, and his favourite sim is iRacing. Biggest inspiration in motorsport, my dad. He'd been interested in motorsport all of his life. Every Sunday, me and my dad and older brother would watch racing. Me and my dad still watch a lot of motorsports together and can probably tell who my dad's favourite driver is from my name. Put your suggestions in your chat. Matt?
Oh, I wasn't expecting to be asked about this.
His name's Nigel Stock.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway,
who's his favourite? Who's his dad's favourite driver?
I don't. Nigel.
Nigel who?
Stock?
No.
Oh.
You're not very good at motorsports here, Matt. You're going to have to go away and do some brushing up, young man. I'll tell you that much.
You put me under pressure. I'm sorry.
Nigel Mansell.
Oh, no, okay.
Nigel Hill, says Diego Zuccarelli in chat. No, that might as well what Matt might as well just come out and guess Diego, you know what I mean? No, it's Nigel Mansell. That's why he's called Nigel. Nigel Mansell at the age of 32.
There are several Nigels in this world. No,
there isn't, not in motorsport, not the most famous one. Oh, Matt.
I'm sorry.
Let's get a P45 for Matt on the way out of the door. Don't let the door hit him on the way through. So that's Matt's gone. No, so Nigel Stock named after Nigel Mansell there as well. Greatest achievement in racing, sim or real life. Been in great championships that Nxtgen and Crest Autosport put on. Competitive in them, some great talent in them as well. So isn't it Nigel Mansell? Yes, Dan Peoples, it's Nigel Mansell. So that's Nigel Stock there as well. Driver focus, been in some great championships and has done well. And he's currently doing rather well here tonight, sitting down in 19th place overall and 3rd in class. So there we go. So that gives us the driver focus for this 15 minutes, guys. We'll pick up another one very, very shortly. But at the moment, we're going to go back to Daniel Sitzman, who's being chased down by the very fast Mark Fletcher and Adam Watson. And there's only there's only about a 4.6k IR difference between Daniel Simon and Mark Fletcher, you know. So Daniel Sitzman on a 1.363, Mark Fletcher on nearly a 6k. So massive difference. Yes, you got it, Dan Peoples, he says it in YouTube, but he got it. So this is where I think Sitzman's done the right thing here. Move over, let him through, not your fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it? Not?
No, it's definitely the right move there. I mean, being behind Fletcher and Watson, you don't want to be ahead of them in this situation. I mean, getting chased down is definitely a situation you might end up regretting if you try and fight it out. So good on him for just letting that go. And by the way, as we're saying this, we've had three drivers in total out of this race. Liam Tack, unfortunately, out. We got Adams of the silver class, and we got Rafael dos Santos all dropping out of this race. Unfortunate for them. We've got one of each class as well, James, which is a little bit of a good little sprinkle there.
Well, I suppose the only thing is we've got continuity. You know what I mean? At least there's one going out of each one.
There's no disparity between classes here.
No, however, if you were watching the broadcast earlier on, you did see that we did go into one race where chaos commenced and half the gold field was out at the beginning. And then it got red flagged and then we had to move back in again into another session. So that was just unbelievable. But Gavin Gardner is chasing down Chris Daines currently as well on lap 26. And we've still got an hour and 6 minutes left, which is quite unbelievable, really, considering we feel, you know, we've been going for a long old time at the moment.
Honestly.
Yeah, and I thought it was just, I thought we were further on than that, but we've got an hour and 6 left. So
I think with the amount of chaos, it's felt like a lot longer.
Yeah.
James, it really has. Also, our class leaders at the moment, Martello, obviously, back over in first, 22 seconds ahead of Jamie Doyle right now. We got Santos in 3rd position overall, class leader for silver, and we got Sitzman sitting on top for the bronze at position number 9. Doing pretty good there for Sitzman and Santos. They're both really showing up for their classes here. Santos in the top 3 overall, ahead of the likes of Chris Daines, Gaza Gardner, Gianni Peroni.
Well, there is the class orders there on the left-hand side. You see Martello is in 1st, Dory in 2nd. Daines is down in 11th overall, Gardner in 12th, Peroni in 15th. Now, I think that's what it's giving you the difference is at the moment, is obviously as well. Santos is in 3rd overall for silver, Hedgecock 13th, Oliveira 14th, Albanese 16th, Meacham 17th, Sitzman 9th. Overall, Doherty 18th, 19th, 21st, and 24th. So, you know, there's a massive sort of almost gap there because of the fact that obviously the commencing chaos and Adam Hedgecock is going into the pits. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, they're all doing an amazing job. And a lot of these have fully sort of outdone themselves, really.
They really are. They really are. We've got to give massive props to all the races today, especially Sitzman and Santos, who are really doing way more than I was expected.
Yeah, I think
outclassing some of the golds right now, actually.
I think the terminology is the same terminology that you'd use elsewhere in your public life. Would be punching above their weight.
There you go. Yeah, that's the word I was searching for.
Yeah, I think punching
above their weight.
Punching above their weight would be where kind of Sitzman and Santos is sitting about now, because they're not expected to be in them positions. But I think overall they're fully deserving of being in them positions. As we see, Adam Hedgecock is still in the pits at the moment. He's jobbing back down the order as well, losing places to Badge Meach of Darren Doherty, and is now down in 18th there for Adam Hedgecock.
I mean, but they may be punching above their weight, but they're still holding on. I mean, it's not an uneven fight at the moment, I gotta say, James. I mean, they may be outclassed, but they're certainly not outgunned, as they're really showing up with absolute guns blazing right now. Absolutely.
Now, Diego Zuccarelli, this is a 2-hour one-off endurance special. Rounds 2, 5, and 8 are going to be endurance races. So we've got Road America, then we've got Spa, and then we've got the Nords combined. So they're going to be 2 hours of Nords combined. 2 hours of Spa, and then 2 hours of here at Road America. So normally the setup is a 15-minute feature, and then they do a 1-hour sprint race. That's the normal.
Other way around, James.
No,
it's a 1-hour feature and a 15-minute sprint.
What did I say? 15-minute sprint race and a 1-hour feature, didn't I?
Yeah, you said a 15-minute feature.
Oh no! All right, so normally a 15-minute sprint and then a 1-hour feature. So that's what it normally is, but then they have the one-off specials of 2-hour endurances. The endurance races grid is designed where you only have an hour practice, you don't have qualifying. The grid is done by reverse order of the standings. So for instance, Zuccarelli, if you were first in the standings in gold, you would start at the back of gold for the feature race. You don't go to the back of the grid, you go to the back of your class.
Exactly.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, we obviously do have to. Yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
And we do have to mention, of course, it would be in class order. So if you're at the top of gold, you start at the back of gold, not at the back of the entire race.
Exactly. So it goes gold, silver, bronze, obviously, as you can see, done by the left-hand side and on the top of your screen. That tells you all the leaders currently as well. So, you know, there's a lot going on. Nice format. It is a nice format. If you want to get involved, Diego, all the links are down in the YouTube channel description. Don't forget, guys, as well, one of the things I haven't mentioned for a while, don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up as well. Hit subscribe on the channel and turn on the bells for notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any of the action that's being brought up on the Nxtgen YouTube channel or on the JPB channel as well. So don't forget, if you haven't already, give the videos a big old thumbs up, turn on the bells for notifications, and you know, you ain't going to miss any of the action then, are you?
Exactly. 1 like equals 1 hour of Formula 1 homework for me, because apparently I need it.
Yeah, we won't talk about that, will we?
No, we won't. We'll keep that under wraps.
No, we'll ignore the fact that you didn't know who Nigel Mansell was.
Look, okay, right. I am from a different era.
Oh dear, now I'm definitely old. You know what I mean? This is just unbelievable. It's Daniel Sitzman now under attack from Gazza Williams going down the long straightaway. Again, this is not Sitzman's fight. I wouldn't be fighting too hard, and he doesn't, and that is Williams through. What I would be looking at trying to do, though, is trying to get a hold of the back of Williams and maybe join in and see if he can tow him at all. Sitzman giving him a little bit of a flash. Hello, mate. How are you, Flash? More than I'm upset because you made a pass on me. Kind of flash there as well. But Mark Fletcher is under attack from Adam Watson as they're going down into the marine sweep. Both guys from altitude. It's going to be difficult for them not to race, but I'm also going to presume that there may be some team orders in place. So there you go.
Maybe. I mean, if I was on this team, I've got to imagine there'd be a bit of friendly rivalry going on, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on a team. They got to fight each other a little bit, as long as they don't kind of crash into each other into the walls. I'm sure it wouldn't be too bad for either of them.
Yeah, I don't want to. Light Brigade just said it's best not to mention James Hunt. Do you know who James Hunt is?
No, I do not.
Right. Do you have Netflix?
Yes, I do. And yes, I know there is a Formula 1 special. My friend has
No,
been begging me to
not
watch
the
it.
Formula 1 special. You might need to do that just to get your up-to-dates. But there is a James Hunt film and Niki Lauda film on there. Oh, my God. What's it called? Oh! Hold on. Carry on talking for a minute. I just want to remember what the film is.
Well, we're still watching Mark Fletcher here up in seventh place, under attack by Adam Watson. These two are pretty... Mark Fletcher, one of the faster racers. I'm pretty sure he's one of the highest rated racers in the entire league at the moment in GT3. Coming around, I'm in 7th place. He's had a bit of a mountain to climb going through. As we're saying, there's Tom Dadswell taking over.
Yes.
Coming up to position 5.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt now because Light Brigade has just said...
Go ahead.
It's called Rush. That was it. Called Rush. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So watch Rush to get an understanding of Formula 1 racing back in the days of James Hunt.
That's my homework.
Yeah, James Hunt and Niki Lauda. And also pay attention to the Senna film as well. If you haven't seen the Senna film, please go and watch it because you'll then learn about the other people involved in Formula 1 at that specific time. One of them being Nigel who?
Nigel Mansell.
Yay! Well done.
There we go.
Matt Zeniith there, learning. He's here every day learning. Nothing like teaching a young whippersnapper some new tricks, eh?
I'm here for all 8 weeks, folks. You're stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt is joining me in the booth for the whole complete entirety of this series as well. So there you go. If you want to tune in and hear more.
One vote for me to keep my job.
Yes. Don't forget to vote. Whose main rival was Alan Prost? Language. He doesn't know. Let's just put it that way. His main rival was Ayrton Senna. It was Ayrton Senna.
Okay.
Okay.
I probably should have guessed one of the names you'd already said.
You probably, if you'd have guessed Hunt or Lauda, I would have shot you even more because that was about 10, 15 years earlier. But no, it was Ayrton Senna was his main rival. So there we go. Adam Watson is currently being chased down by Mark Fletcher going around the right-hander of Canada Corner. These guys are battling it out as well. We are here to commentate on the racing, but this is endurance. They do have gaps in the action that we will try and bring you when we can. And this is one of the battles, is Watson and Fletcher. Watson did just pass Mark Fletcher. Baz Meacham has taken a little bit of a diver off track, not only once, but he did it twice.
What's happened here, James?
So there is Baz Meacham down in turn 5.
The dreaded turn 5.
Yep.
We knew something was going to happen here, James.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's solo, to be honest, though, because I think he's far enough in. Oh, he's not in turn 5, actually. He's further around than turn 5. That's at the carousel. That's just before the carousel. That would be turn 8. On the carousel. Yeah, on the peak of the carousel.
Not the only one getting things wrong today, James.
No, well, you know, we do try as best we can.
I have to. I mean, if I'm gonna get things wrong, I gotta bring it up when you do, James.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're getting things wrong about motorsport.
Well, that's. Anyway, back to the racing.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
We got Mark Fletcher and Adam Watson still battling here, coming around. Mark Fletcher, obviously one of the higher rated racers coming in, sitting in number 8. Mark Fletcher and Dadswell had a bit of a fight last week hopefully we are hoping for a bit of a rivalry. They've had a bit of a mountain to climb so far, and they're doing pretty well of it. So, what do you think is going to happen here, James? Do you think Fletcher's going to take the lead, or who's got eyes on?
Yeah, I think Fletcher is going to be looking at trying to pass Watson. I don't think, however, that there's going to be, if the move is made, I don't think there's going to be much of a fight from Watson, because at the end of the day, there's no reason for him to fight at all. So, you know, it's a 6 of one, half dozen of the other situation.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, it's a lot to go with.
Yeah.
These endurance races, we've got 55 around about minutes left in this race. It's a long way to go. I mean, you got to think maybe some more pit stops could be happening towards the end of this race. We don't want to see someone right at the end having to pit in the last few laps.
I think we may get that anyway. I think we possibly could get it. Yeah.
It's very possible.
Absolutely there as well. Mountain to climb, altitude esports, very good. Thank you very much. Who's?
I get it.
You get it?
I get it.
I know.
Because altitude is high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Anyway.
Not
I hope you guys enjoy a comedy broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got Mark Fletcher here, still chasing down Adam Watson down the Moraine sweep. If he's going to make this move, Mark is going to be making it down into the left-hand side of turn 5. He's going to be looking at taking the inside if he can. Watson kind of makes a half defense, not really a full-on defense of that inside line, but takes the natural line around the corner, and it currently holds it in there as well. That was currently Stephen Wessels in the Porsche in front, has had an incident in front of these guys, and I can guarantee if I look at that now, he's going to be on the run down of 5, and he's going to spin it coming out the exit of 5. So that is my prediction.
Oh, you're absolutely right, James. We're having a lot of issues on this corner today.
It's got to now.
He has to get out of the way of Dadswell. I believe this is Papa Iolo coming around here.
Yeah, Papa Iola.
Dadswell not coming up to 4th. Papa Iola, apologies.
Papa Iola. Camilo Metelo is still out in front currently at the moment by 27 seconds. Jamie Dory in 2nd place, Santos in 3rd, Dadswell 4th, Papa Iola in 5th, Wessels in 6th, Watson 7th, Fletcher 8th, Williams 9th, Sitzman in 10th place. So that currently rounds out your top 10, and the Stephen Wessels, Adam Watson, Mark Fletcher battle is your closest battle on track. Papa Iola is just in front of these guys as well. This could be an interesting 4-way battle here, Matt, as these guys start leading down the long straightaway.
It really could be. I mean, obviously, Wessels and Watson, their names both start with a W, so they go hand in hand. We could be seeing a little bit of offense here from Watson coming around on the inside of the straight. And we're coming into turn 1, so this could be a little bit dangerous here coming in. We could see a little bit of damage, but getting close, but they seem to be doing just fine. I believe that's Fletcher just right close behind as well.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty close here, James.
Yeah,
That's a little bit
Fletcher's
of a three-way
carried.
fight.
Yeah, Fletcher carried some massive overspeed down into turn 1. Watson made that move over Wessels, and there's now Wessels is now under attack from Fletcher. Fletcher's going to be looking at going on the right-hand side of your screen there as well. Watson's moved over to try and tow his teammate through. Watson and Fletcher, the job isn't done this time around, but Wessels does go in hot again into that turn 5 that he struggled with on the last lap around and ended up going round in a circle. So unfortunately for Wessels, he's a little bit under the cosh at the moment. Sean Shute has been off track and has taken a little bit of a diversion. As did Wessels there at the moment as well. So Wessels has been off, but this looks like it could be Shute. Where are we on track?
Are we in the same corner, I believe? Yeah. This one corner, James. It's having its issues.
Yeah, Shute just completely missed his braking point.
I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, I just missed the braking point. The thing is as well is with this specific car as well, if you miss your braking point and you start slamming your brakes on, you're going to be back round. So there you go. Baz Meacham has just been overtaken by Nigel Stock. Baz is going to look at making a move back round into turn 1 again. They don't do it this time around.
And while I don't think I'd mentioned this, I believe we missed this, but between that Watson, Fletcher, and Wessels little three-way, there was a tiny bit of contact there. Luckily, it didn't amount into an incident or any sort of crash, but I did notice a little bit of a love tap. I believe that was between Fletcher and Wessels. So that could have been close, James.
Was that the fact that Wessels may have taken a little bit of a diver off track here? There's Fletcher.
I don't believe it was even in the diver here.
It was just Wessels on it. Yeah, Wessels on his own on that one. But I think it was going down. Down as well. So there you go. This is going to be interesting here as we are now on board with Baz Meacham. Is chasing down Nigel Stock in the Crest Autosport car in the Audi. So it's 3 Audis. It's quite a strong Audi field. You know, we do have Audis, BMWs, Porsches. For one Ferrari, Liam Tack, unfortunately, that is out. Mercedes as well. So there's a good mixture of manufacturers here.
There really is. And obviously, Nigel Stock, obviously named after Nigel Mansell, so hopefully he can live up to that name.
Obviously.
Coming around and being attacked by Baz Meacham. But these manufacturers, we gotta wonder, is it a bit of a reflection on the car? That some of the Audis, we've got a lot of Audis. Is this, because obviously you know a little bit more about the cars that are being used in this. What would you say, what do you think is kind of the advantages of an Audi?
It's a good car, don't get me wrong. Without a shadow of a doubt, it is a good car. It can be very slippery at times, but it's a car that you've got to get used to. You cannot just jump in and think, oh, I'm an Audi king. I tried that and it didn't work too well for me. So, you know, they've got to really put some practice in for that Audi, and I think it takes an experienced driver. If I was there with the BMW, I would turn around and say, yeah, you could jump straight in and drive the BMW, because it is one of the most easiest cars in the iRacing service to actually drive. So I could understand that, and that's fair enough. But the Audi is a little bit more tricky.
Definitely. I mean, you're making a lot of sense here, James. I mean, honestly, we're glad we got you here for the colour commentary.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what my job is. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't need to worry about anything else. Adam Watson has closed down the gap on Papa Ayola, and Mark Fletcher has as well. So these golds are really flying and making their way back through the field here tonight after, well, what is one of, I think, the biggest incidents we're going to see at the beginning of each year.
Must be,
must be. Absolutely, and as well.
Also, the gap is closing, but there is still a 14-second gap between Santos and Dadswell, and a 30-second gap between Martello and Dory. Martello's got to be feeling good about this race. I mean, he could have this wrapped up right now.
Yeah, as we can see here, Watson's going to be making a move on the inside of Papa Ayola. Oh, Iola's been pushed off. No room left at the inn, and Papa Iola's now under attack from Fletcher as they come up the hill, and that is Fletcher through the order as they head up through turn 7, up the hill into 8. The left-hander into 8 you're going to be going, and then you're going to be going into the carousel. Used to drive the Endurance in the Merc, the Ferrari and the McLaren GT3, says Light Brigade in YouTube. Well,
Interesting.
I I've driven a BMW, I've driven the Ferrari, driven an LMP2 as well in an endurance. The Ferrari was the first ever endurance I did. I joined the iRacing service and I wanted to do more. So I went and did Bathurst. Was it 12 hours of Bathurst, I think it was, or 6 hours of Bathurst might have been. And out of 48 cars, 48 teams, me and my mate finished 24th. And that was the first, yeah, it was pretty good. And that was the first ever, top half, first ever endurance I did with very little experience in the car. And I did that within about the first couple of months being within iRacing. So, you know, maybe should have got a little bit more practice in before I decided to jump in that. But there you go. But it was in the Ferrari, and that was quite a nice, nice forgiving car. LMP1 Porsche 9182, the Le Mans 24 Hour. Yeah, I never driven an LMP1. Couldn't get used to the whole like harvesting battery, exuding push to pass. Wasn't my thing. Too much things going on in the car as it was. As we can see, Nigel Stock. He's trying to chase down Adam Hedgecock in the BMW in front of him as well in 19th place. So have to keep an eye on that one. But we're going to keep an eye on the Watson-Fletcher Papiola battle because these guys are still at it. This is, in fact, your closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. And that's why we're bringing you this action.
Yeah. You got to be thinking, James, some of these races have to be getting tired. I mean, it's one thing to be racing for 2 hours. It's another thing to be racing for 2 hours when you've got some of the best racers right behind you breathing down your neck. When you're making these defensive and offensive moves, you've got a lot going in your brain. That's going to tire you out a lot quicker. So that could be putting into play here. We could see towards the end of this race, something happened between these three. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an incident, if some fatigue started to show between any of them.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the important thing is, you know, they've got to really keep an eye on what they're doing as the time goes on. You know, we've got 44 minutes, so we're into the last 45. So these guys can really kind of see the home leg almost, if you want to put it that way. You know, they're on the home stretch, and this is how they're going to get on. You know, but I think at the end of the day, endurance is endurance, and they kind of knew what they were signing up for at the beginning of the year. You know, they knew there was going to be a 1 hour, there was going to be a special 2 hour endurance, and that's what these guys were expecting. And I think, to be honest, they've all done a stellar job. Yeah, the start was messy. Yes, the whole, you know, getting this to broadcast has been a bit of a choppy evening this evening. You know, we've been in and out of sessions and stuff like that. But I think the racing overall has been absolutely amazing. And with 44 minutes remaining, Mark Fletcher and Simon Papiola are literally within about a second and a half of each other. I think it just goes to show how incredible it has been. However, Mark Sykes has been taking a little bit of a diver off track at the moment. So we'll have a look back at Mark Sykes and see what he's been up to. I think he's just going to run wide. Get it back on track, last corner, and he's back on. So there you go, Mark Sykes managing to hold it and is currently back on track as well. Let us know, guys, if you've not been here before, let us know in the comment section who you think will win. You can see the table on the left-hand side. I'll give you their full name so you can go and pick who you think is going to win this race. Martello looks like an absolute shoo-in. But Jamie, Dory, Santos and Dadswell could be there as well. It's hard to keep yourself driving consistently without being tempted and pushing hard to see if you can go faster. That way leads to mishaps. It does, yeah, and I think that's one of the drivers that they've got to be aware of as well, is just to be that consistency. I think that's at the end of the day, because the last thing they want to do now is Adam Watson don't want to be pushing like an absolute banshee to catch up to Tom Dadswell and makes a mistake and loses it all after the first 42 minutes of what he's been going through.
I mean, exactly. I mean, although we do have to mention, Tom Dadswell is closing the gap on Martello ever so slowly. It seems lap by lap, he's gaining a few tenths of a second every lap. If he manages to speed that up, Tom Dadswell could be taking over. He's currently the only one actually gaining time on Martello. Jamie Dory and Santos, the time is only getting wider between them and Martello.
Yeah.
Also, the gap between Santos and Dory is actually closing. It's
Yeah.
now only about it's only about a 9-second gap in between Dory and Santos. We could be seeing Santos taking over Dory soon,
We could
even
well
though he's
be.
doing a silver class.
Yeah, maybe, but then I don't think classes really mean anything. Daswell was in chat. Fletcher's fuel saving behind Adam. Yeah, it's looking like that, and we can jump on board with Mark Fletcher and have a listen as they head down the Moraine Sweep very, very shortly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
You're going to be listening for the lift down here.
Yeah.
If he's going to make any difference in his fuel saving, he's going to be doing it down into turn 5. He's not making he's not making a forceful effort to push this. And if he lifts, yeah, he is. He's got his clutch wide done.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Fletcher and Adams, they are, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are both on Altitude Esports, I believe.
Yes.
Am I right? That's it?
Yeah,
yes,
you
they
are.
are. I was correct.
You are right.
So there's going to be a bit of team play there. I mean, if Martello does have to pit soon, that could open a door for people like Dory, Santos, all the way down to even Gavin Gardner to try and get up some time, close the gap a little bit.
But I think it's harder in an endurance to really close the gap when you're coming into that final leg, unless your pit stop has worked out incredible for you and you've taken a big old chunk of time out of somebody in front of you. I think overall, trying to gain the positions is a tough one in the first place. But I think what these guys have got to do is just really concentrate on what they're doing on the racetrack, which will then allow them to close up to the guys in front, because that's where they want to be doing at the end of the day. And you can listen to Fletch, he is saving like absolutely crazy. So Mark Fletcher is saving fuel behind, hoping that he will be in a better position later on in the race.
100%. I mean, Mark Fletcher, as we know, is a very talented racer. So these kind of strategies, you got to think are kind of expected of him. He's pretty fast. Is he the highest rated, or is that Dadswell?
No, he's 6K. Dadswell's 4.5. So yeah, Mark Fletcher is one of.
Oh wow, Mark Fletcher is way higher.
Yeah, Mark Fletcher is one of the highest drivers. So there you go. Yeah, like we go again, a good message in chat as well. It's not also fuel that he's saving, but he's also saving his tyres as well, because obviously he's why he's not pushing. He's saving the tyres. So,
Yeah,
you know,
makes sense.
yeah,
I mean,
Fletcher's doing a good job at the moment. 39 minutes
Yeah.
on the clock. So,
we do also have to mention there is required to change all 4 tyres at some point during the race, or you will be disqualified.
yeah,
So,
I'm not overly
The likelihood
worried.
is he changed it in the first pit.
Yeah, I think that's
But
the thing.
obviously-
It's done already.
It's something to think about. And Sitzman is in the pit.
Sitzman.
The current bronze cast leader, Sitzman,
Yeah.
heading into the pit lane.
The problem for him is, well, it's not really a problem. Doherty's quite far behind him currently as well. So Doherty is going round
Yeah.
Canada corner. So if Sitzman can get in and fueled up, but it almost shows a sign that if Sitzman's got to go in the pits, and you know he's pitted on lap 161. There could be others that may have to make that move into the pits at the same time. So I don't think this could be the only pit stop, the only second stop we see from these drivers, especially when they've pitted around the same amount of time.
It'd be the change of the winds.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be surprised if you were like Darren Doherty, Paul Scott, and De Oliveira had to pit again. It would not be a surprise, I don't think.
No, not at all.
We'll have to see what happens with people like Martello and Dory up in the lead here. It's going to be interesting if they do, though, because if Tom Danswell gets his play right and Martello and Dory and Santos have to pit, that could be a nice window of opportunity there for Dadswell.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, Dadswell could be on for gaining a big chunk of positions. Doherty's now down into 11th. So if they have got to pit again, which we're going to be on the understanding if Wessels has gone in as well, these guys have all pitted around about the same amount of time. So if Wessels has gone in, I wouldn't be surprised if others have got to go in. So Watson and Fletcher are still locked in as well. But that could pan out quite nicely for Sitzman and everybody else further down the order, because obviously, you know, the people in front have got a pit. So
yeah, we should also mention that Wessels was the first one to pit out of the initial leading pack when we started to get away from the incident. So that is something to mention. Santi Oliveira now heading into the pit as well. it's gonna be interesting depending on what we see here from Martello and
Yeah.
Dory. I feel like a bit like a broken record, but we're just gonna have to wait for the pits to see what happens. None of the battles are seeming too close at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking like they will generally have to make two. It's how far they can get, I think. Some of the guys further, who were involved in that incident are obviously out, unfortunately, as well. But most pitted around pit lap 21 to 20. So from a pit stop point of view, if Oliveira's gone in, Wessels has gone in. Some of these guys have already been in twice. Dadswell's been in twice. Watson's been in. Fletcher's been in. So maybe they might not have to go in again. But
these people were in the very middle of the big incident at the start.
Well, yeah,
that's probably
exactly.
why they pitted twice.
Well,
so
they
they probably had to pit straight away.
Pitted, yeah, right at the beginning for damage, I would have thought. Just have to see how it all pans out and plays out as the race goes on. So as we enter into lap 41, 36 minutes remaining. Watson's in, Santos is in, Dadswell's in.
That's going to be in.
Now we're going to really see.
Dory and Martello, apologies, not pitting just yet.
No, but this is
definitely going to be an opportunity for Fletcher.
But this is where we're going to see where Santos is regarding time now, because Dadswell's in there as well. Watson's in there. Williams is making his way up past them all. He's now up into third. Dadswell is on his way out.
That's Dadswell, yeah. So pretty good pit from him then, coming out that quick.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Santos is still in.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dadswell, that wasn't. No, Dadswell was still in the pit. Sorry, Watson's still in. Santos is on, and Perone is just coming in as well. So I want to keep an eye on where Santos. His tire, he's up in the air, so he's tyre changing.
Yeah, it probably should be Santos heading out before Dadswell. I think what will happen here.
Yeah, but that's Baz Meacham behind as well. Santos is going to be there. The worst thing is as well is they made a change where I believe the fuel now happens after the tyres. No, the fuel happens before the tyres, so they have to wait for the fuel to go in before the pit crew then start dealing with the tyres. Now, there was always a thing that the tyres and fuel would get done. They get done at the same time, so the fuel goes in as the tyres are being put on. But apparently that's not how it works anymore, and the tyres, the fuel gets done first and then the tyres after. But Dory's in the pits as well, so it's going to be seeing. Fletcher is coming around Canada corner. As you see, Fletcher there, the number 3 on the right-hand side of your track map. He is coming around Canada corner, so it's whether or not he is going to be able to pass Dory.
This could be a great opportunity for him if he does, but he may still have to pit yet. Obviously, he did pit twice straight away for damage. Yeah, but there could be something here.
Yeah, I don't think he's got enough. I don't think he's got enough fuel or anything.
It'd be very impressive if he did.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to have to go in, as we see Fletcher now move into second place over Dory. Is Williams now going to take third away? He is. Williams is going to take third as well. So Gazza Williams goes up into third place. What about Chris Daines? Is he looking at taking fourth place away from Dory?
Looks like he is. I mean, it's going to be close. Chris Daines, obviously a big name from last week, managing to win the feature race. So it's going to be an interesting touch here to see when these names pit, because obviously Jamie Dory pitting now, he's behind people like Papaiola, Gardner, Daines, Williams, and Fletcher. But these guys might need to pit, and so might Martello. So there's still a bit of pushback to happen here. Jamie Dory now exiting the pit, and Martello is going into the pits now.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a critical moment of the race, James.
I think so as well.
It depends on how much time these guys can catch up on Martello.
Yeah,
before he exits the pit.
Well, he's currently going in the pit lane at the bottom, and Santos is going past the pit lane. Was going past the pit lane at the same time. Is that Elwin 80 Sykes? This has been great, guys. Thank you. If you're talking about me or the racing, are you talking about us or the racing? There we go.
I think us.
We think us as well. We'll take a little bit of a trumpet blow tonight. Why not? You know, I mean, I'm always down if somebody blowing me trumpet, but you know, But thank you anyway for your kind words. Sorry, we are just messing after as well. So, you know, please don't take us seriously. If you have been here all the way through, then you will fully understand not to take us seriously. So, but yes, but at the same time, we are concentrating on the racing. I'm just interested to see now how this is going to pan out as the race goes on. And I think we're into the last 31 minutes. So we've now turned into that kind of moment, the final stretch where everybody kind of makes their way and tries to get into the positions where they need to be. So I think we're going to be playing in now for the last half an hour. Could be rather interesting. Yeah,
it definitely could.
So
the current class leaders. I mean, we got Mark Fletcher up in first now, taking over Martello Pitt. We've got Santos for silver coming around. Singer placed 8th above Tom Daswell, Stephen Wessels, and Adam Watson. And for bronze, we've got Darren Doherty sitting in 12th, just ahead of Paul Scott and Gianni Peroni. Peroni obviously having an incident previously in the race to do with Tom Daswell. It's a pretty interesting race, James. They've definitely closed up a little bit. We've still got a nice little sprinkling of different classes up in the front runners of this race.
Yeah, I think it really is a tough one, isn't it? Because everybody's kind of mixed up. That start really kind of threw the whole thing all over the place, didn't it? That start kind of really threw the cat amongst the pigeons and put everybody not where we expected them to be. Has it taken away any of the action from the racing? Most definitely not, because I think it's only enhanced what we've already got, haven't we?
Sorry, my headphone fell out.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Yeah, it's definitely sorry about that. It's definitely enhanced the action. I mean, you can't really get more action than a 16-car pileup at the start line. So we gotta think it's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we gotta see though, is Mark Fletcher gonna pit? And if he does pit, what's that gonna do to the rankings? Because obviously Martello currently for the first time in this 2-hour-long race is not in first place.
Only at the moment. 16-car pile up at the start. Yeah, if you go to the second restart,
Was James driving?
No, that was Nigel Stock. If you go, was James driving? No, it was not me, Pickles. If you go to the second restart, there was a 16-car pile-up involving Rafael De Santos. It was literally on the pace lap before we even got just on that run up into the start line. Unfortunately,
sorry to interrupt you here, James, but we had an interesting development. Gazza Williams, Chris Daines, and Gavin Gardner have all entered the pit lane. Mark Fletcher and Carmelo Metella are on their own. Yep. At the front.
So it's now going to be whether or not Jamie Dorey here, he's coming down the start finish straight, he's going to overtake them back in for third place. And Francisco Santos, whether or not he's going to be doing the same thing. Matt Emmons has had an incident. We will have a look back at that very, very shortly. But kind of everybody, I think the one that we're waiting to see where he comes out is Mark Fletcher and what the situation was. Well, thank you very much. He said it was us. He did say it was us.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I know. So Wessels has gone through. Williams has gone through. Dadswell's gone through. Where is Watson? He's going to at least, I think, on the way out, because these are on the left-hand side. There they are. Papiola, that is currently Papiola and Gavin Gardner. Doherty is still in, he's coming into the pits as well, and so is Scott. So everybody's had to go in again. It's just now, where will Mark Fletcher be in that run through the order? Because he's obviously, we saw him fuel saving, we heard him fuel saving, and I think at the end of the day, it's, well, we're going to find out. He's just gone in.
Yeah, that fuel saving definitely helping him out a little bit. He might be able to keep ahead of Jamie Dorey. It's going to look like Carmelo Metella is going to take back first place. Only 12 seconds behind Mark Fletcher. He could get one hell of a pit stop and manage to get out, but it'd have to be miracle working there. Yeah. Obviously, we've got people... if we're looking down at silver... Sorry, James.
That's fine. Okay, you carry on.
We got people like Sandy Oliveira coming out of the woodwork here to come in 13. Simon Stitzman Still in 14th, just ahead of Albanese, as Paul Scott and Darren Doherty are just exiting the pits now. Anyway, I'll let you talk now, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because on the track map, you can see where 4th and 5th currently are. Obviously, we're on board with Mark Fletcher. You can see where the other guys are. So that's where kind of Mark is aiming to come out. They're coming round the back. Mark is still in the pits currently at the moment as well. So if he wants to clear 4th and 5th place, he's got to be doing it coming out very shortly. Dory's come out. Fletcher has come out. He's come out into 2nd place overall. So that brief amount of fuel saving, or that fuel saving that Mark Fletcher has done, has now brought him out in front of the people that he needed to be brought out in front of. Jamie Dory, Francisco Santos, Tom Dadswell and Gazza Williams. So a stunning overall fuel strategy from Mark Fletcher. There we go. That was the word I was looking for.
There we go. You got there eventually, James. The tactics on display with Mark Fletcher, absolutely clean. I mean, if he did that right, we've got 26 minutes left in this race. It's not looking like he's going to need another pit after this.
No, he should. No way. He'll run to the end.
Unless he gets some damage. Maybe coming up from Jamie Dory or someone, or maybe if he even catches up to Carmelo Metello. This is looking like that Mark Fletcher using that little bit of strategy to kind of secure one of the top spots here in this race.
Yeah, he could get second, and I think that would be an absolutely stellar job. Big O's hope he doesn't get burgled, right, James, for P1. Yeah, one of my favourite metaphors that I use continuously. Big O's, stop taking it away. Spoiling it, giving away my metaphors here in the racing. So there we go. What an absolute incredible move by Mark Fletcher there, getting his. Well, he's kind of got it all right at the moment, hasn't he, Mark? You know, he got his strategy right, he got everything correct, and has now put him in 2nd place. He's up 5. He was involved at the beginning with the chaotic chaos that commenced at the start. There's a chaotic chaos commenced.
The chaotic chaos, yeah.
The chaotic chaos that commenced.
He was almost dead center in that little pile up. He was right. I believe he was just behind DeSantis.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But that was quite an interesting little development that Fletcher's had to go through. And he's honestly, you got to think about what would be happening if that incident didn't happen. We could be seeing Mark Fletcher at the top right now.
Yeah, Mark Fletcher would be running away with it. But I think the fact that he isn't just goes to show how good everybody else has been. And I think that's the thing.
It's been a stellar race.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, we've still got Santos in 4th right now, currently fighting against Tom Dadswell. Tom Dadswell is 7/10 of a second behind. That's going to be a tough fight. We're currently with Tom Dadswell now at Altitude Esports, just behind Tom Dadswell, 4 seconds. We've got Gazza Williams, and then Stefan Wessels coming up real 6th and 7th. So we could be seeing Santos dropping down to 5th here, but no matter what Santos does, he's got to be happy with himself after getting on the silver class, managing to outrace a lot of the goals for a long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Santos has done an absolutely stellar job. If he gets overtaken by Dadswell, I don't think that's a massive, you know, ha 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 kind of moment. I think that's more of a, it's a commemorative fact, the fact that Santos has done a stellar job. You know, he made it through the traffic and the carnage. And he's gone about his business, and yes, the faster guys have made their way back up front, right? It's kind of expected. Fletcher, Dadswell, Williams, they've all kind of made their way back up to the front of the field, which is where we expected them to be. But they've still, from Santos' point of view, he's still ahead of, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8 gold drivers right at this moment in time. Yes, we think it's soon to be 7 because Dadswell is closing up on him. But that still puts him ahead. It's 7 drivers.
And being passed by Dadswell is not something to, like, turn your nose about. Dadswell is probably one of the front runners of the entire tournament, currently coming into this race in the 1st position in the gold class. So Santos is currently defending against what is, at the moment, the best gold racer after 1 race. So we got to think, Santos he is doing an absolutely amazing job. No matter what he does here, he's got to be proud. And even
Absolutely.
if he does get overtaken.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no shadow on the rest of his race today.
Oh, he's backed off. Go around the inside. He's left you the inside door open there, Santos, which is used a back marker because that doesn't allow Dadswell to make that move back through. However, this back marker is putting up a good old effort here, and Dadswell's trying to put off Santos. Doesn't do it at this moment in time, and Santos doesn't leave the door open, so therefore he doesn't get burgled. So there we go. Jorge Santos, great DS racing. Go Santos and Oliveira. Yeah, they're first and second in gold, not in gold, in silver. Santos is 4th overall, up 15 places. Oliveira is, 15. Oliveira is 13th overall, second in class, and is up 2. So both of them doing an absolute stellar job. Bit of a contentious subject, really, within my own mental ability here. I'm hoping that isn't Dadswell flashing. No, maybe it might have just been the camera angles that have gone past.
Maybe.
So there we go.
This is a tough fight. I mean, we've still got a pretty long time.
Dadswell's got it done. No, he's got it. Yeah, he got it done.
Gaza Williams just beeping in behind there, hoping to get in as well.
No, Williams is about 3.5 seconds back.
Oh, who was behind? Oh,
that was one of the back marker Porsches. That was Sean Shute in the middle. So
apologies, I didn't have my SDK up. What?
That's fine.
I'm all over the place.
So there we go. Hyped Rob Train, says Biggles. There we go. Right, guys, I am going to do something on the request of the person that sent me in this form. So he's currently chasing down Darren Doherty in a completely different class here as well. Darren is 2nd overall in the bronze in front of us at the moment. But for the next few minutes, listen on as we're going to talk about our own last and final driver focus of this broadcast, and that's going to be one Mr. Adam Hedgecock. He's in car number 24 in 18th place from Altitude Esports. So he is currently at the tender age of 40. Is our very own Mr. Hedgecock. He's been sim racing for about 15 years, and his favourite simulator is iRacing. Biggest inspiration in motorsport, Jenson Button. Watching him win the WDC in 09 really cemented my desire to sim race properly. His smooth style and happy personality is a great combo to learn from. So we all know Jenson Button, don't we, Matt?
Yes, we do. I do know Jenson Button.
You do?
There we go.
Well, there you go.
I do know Jenson Button.
Hype for Matt in chat, please, for knowing one Formula One driver.
Don't worry, I know some other ones.
Do you? Who do you know?
There's also Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
Charles Leclerc.
What?
He races Ferrari.
All right.
I know that one.
What non-current racing driver can you tell me?
Oh, fuck. Sorry, apologies, language. Oh, frick. Oh, God.
Right, anyway.
Nigel Mansell.
Well, there you go. That's because it's been brought up. So, there you go. So, that is Mr. Hedgecock. His greatest achievement in real life or sim racing. I think this is where things... sometimes the forms that we send out for people and drivers, they fill in, but they don't obviously come back full open disclosure. And I have checked with Adam as well, and I've mentioned about it as well. His greatest achievement in real life or sim racing. So just listen up, guys, and take this in for me, please. I've held 3 iRacing world records in the VW Jetta. I've also been a nominee for a VCO Simi Award for sim racing photography, which he did do. As well, he was in the nominees list last season. I believe the Simmies are almost like the Oscars of the sim racing world. You can vote for. There's loads of best commentary, best photographer as well. So they come up in November. So, you know, hint, hint. So there you go. So outside of the sim, the view of the broadcaster is not very clear. Can you check it? It's going out in 1080 in HD. So maybe if you can select 1080 from the selection, that may also be your issue. I believe there's no other issues going along anywhere else.
Yeah, I just had a look. It's all fine on here.
Yeah, it's all fine on my end as well. So in Sim Racing, 3 world records, VW Jetta, nominated for the VCO Simmies Award. Outside of Sim Racing, my biggest achievement is battling mental health issues which had been dominating and suffocating my life. I've gone from being completely housebound to being able to go on small walks outside. Thanks to the support of my family, girlfriend and local mental health team, I've made massive strides to becoming a functioning member of society again. Now, I think from Adam's point of view, for him to come out and give us this information, and I have checked with him, so please do not think that I'm reading it completely out of my own petition. I have spoke to him and said, like, are you sure you're okay reading me out? And he says, yes, I want to be proud of what I've achieved within my own mental state as well. So that is basically one of the submissions from Mr. Adam Hedgecock as well. But I think we need to appreciate what Adam goes through on a day-to-day basis. And obviously, I am my DMs are always open if you do want to talk about mental health as well. I have suffered with it myself. So please, at the end of the day, reach out to people, and you can be on the road to recovery. That currently Adam Hedgecock is, as always, on the road to recovery if he's not always on target. So massive shout out to Adam Hedgecock for coming out and being proud of what he's achieved within his own life and within his own mental health. So there we go. That is the last final driver focus of this evening as we're coming into the last 15 minutes of the race, and we're currently on lap 50. So there we go. Oh, good on
50.
Yeah.
Wow, brilliant.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, exactly. You have. I think you know, it's like Biggles has said. Oh, good on you, mate. Mental health is not easy to win. You're a champion for that, mate. Job done, Adam. So there we go, Adam Hedgecock.
Yeah, to be able to come out is not an easy thing and say this is what he's been dealing with, but he really has. So everyone, if you're in chat right now, give it a little bit of support for Adam Hedgecock, because that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, I've dealt with mental health issues before. They're not fun. They're really not, and it takes a lot to be able to reach out.
Yeah.
And make sure if you are also dealing with that, like James said, my DMs are also open. Feel free if you have a need. We're always here.
Exactly. A chat or a scream or a moan or an argument with some... normally a scream is always good. I find a good scream at people is good as well. So you can just go and have a chat, say you're having a bad day, I need to vent, and just vent away. But at the moment, we need to look at the fact that Papiola has gone off track, and this is currently down into turn 8.
That is turn 8, I believe.
No, it's not. It's further down. It's further down.
That looks like it.
No, it's further down the order and not turn 8. It is actually going down into turn 12 into Canada corner. So there we go. Into turn 12.
That was a pretty rough turn though. Just missed it and spun out.
Yeah.
Unfortunate there for Papiola. It looks like he only lost 2 positions there.
Yeah, he didn't come out of it too harsh. So you know, fair play to him as well.
Still, it's always rough to hit a spin like that this close to the end of the race as well.
Exactly, quite late on in the race, I think, is even the bigger thing for him as well. So yeah, but there we go. That is Papiola spinning off in the last 15 minutes of the race, and now we've got this gap here from Adam Hedgecock and Darren Docherty. This is your closest battle on the broadcast currently.
The race is pretty spread out, James. I mean, we've got a pretty long gap. I mean, Carmelo Metello and DeMarc Fletcher, I believe that's 38 seconds, if I'm reading that correctly. It's a little bit blurry on my end, but no worries. And then 49 seconds between Jamie Dory and Metello. It's pretty spread out. And then we've got a little bit of a gap between Santos and Dadswell and Williams. It's looking pretty spread out. It may close up towards the time, but right now Adam Hedgecock and Darren Docherty is going to be what we're watching. As they're cutting into this turn, they're looking pretty close together. What are you thinking, James?
Yeah, I think they need to sort of really kind of not hold each other up. I think at the moment, no, Hedgecock is opening up that bit of a gap to Doherty where Doherty's not catching as much as the draft. Shane Abbott there as well. Huge things to mention. What a top fella. Yes, it was as well. And Biggles in a couple of there as well. I have to say, esports, motorsport is the best way to connect to people around the world, share your voice and have some fun at the same time. And then Light Brigade, good for you, Adam. I was lucky enough to take part in the 2019 and 23 hours as older with Jimmy Broadbent for the Mind charity. Best result was finishing 4th. Well, there you go. That is, if you know, Light Brigade is Andy Maxwell from the UK Sim Racers League that we look at covering on a Tuesday evening as well. So, you know, so there you go. That is Andy Maxwell in chat as well. How did Fletcher go to P2? Did he not take tyres at all? Yes, he did take tyres. They have to. It's a mandatory tyre stop. Mark Fletcher has just driven an absolute barnstorming race. And I'd like to point out as well, he did so much fuel saving behind this man that when he went into the pits, he basically withheld the same place he went in and got second place. So Mark Fletcher doing an absolute stellar job as well. He has to, it's a mandatory, he has to take four tyres, not, yeah, I know what I mean.
Yeah, you have to switch all 4 tyres.
Yeah, switch all 4 tyres. That's the one I was talking about. So there you go. So he's had to do that and is currently in second place. So he's driven an absolute monster of a race. But then again, you know, we are looking at a 6K driver doing special things in a BMW. So, you know, what more could we ask for? Really?
Got a lot of good old BMW.
Yeah.
Nice little classic car.
No, it's one of the, it's kind of like a rock really of iRacing. If you want to drive a GT3, you'll jump into the BMW for the first time or the Ferrari. So
yeah, I mean,
there
we gotta love it.
10 minutes remaining now. Carmelo Metello from DRS Esports is still out in front. There is Carmelo there as well. 38 seconds over second place. Jamie Dory in third. Tom Dadswell fourth. Santos is in fifth place. And then we go down the order after that as well, as you can see. Mark Sykes has had a little bit of a rough time here. He's been off track, on track, on track, off track, on track, off track.
I'm going to do a little bit of the hokey pokey to come around this time again.
So that's kind of the corner.
It seems to be the same 2 turns that we're seeing in these little instants. These people are coming off. It's coming around this turn. Looks.
It's the last corner. Yeah, he's at the last corner.
Yeah, here we go. Oh.
No, I don't see what he did.
He came off a tiny bit at turn 12, I believe, and then he came into the straight.
Yeah.
So it was nothing too rough.
No, but he is going down into turn 1, so maybe we'll finish watching this one through and see what happens. Excuse me. 2 Mark Sykes going down into turn 1. Nothing.
Looking pretty clean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it must
nothing.
have been that little tiny bit on turn 12 where it came off a tiny bit.
Yeah, maybe. And let's have a look at the second series, second part of this massive selection of Mark Sykes going off track. Ah, there we go.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
There we go. So he's run wide into turn 3 before he's head down into 4. So that was Mark Sykes there as well, going off track. Sean Shute has also been off track as well. But we are entering into the last 9 minutes of the race. Carmelo Metello is absolutely done a stellar job this evening. Pulled away at the start, never saw him again.
Yeah, he's been absolutely untouched during this race. I mean, I think for the majority of the race, he's had at least 30 seconds in between him and second place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apart from that one point where Mark Fletcher took over while Mark Fletcher hadn't pitted. But Martello, just that first incident where he was able to get away, get out of that danger, that seems to have really won it for him. That little intro section. You got to be thinking, man, I mean, he's got to be feeling pretty safe with only 8 minutes 30 left, unless he has some massive kind of corner where he just misses it or spins or does something like that. I think he might have taken first here, James.
Oi, brave man mentioning things like that where he's going to be spinning and doing things around there. I mean, let's just hope he doesn't. And he has a stellar ending to what is already a stellar race, Matt. No cursing here on the YouTube.
I can't get away from the caster curse.
No, on the YouTube section, no cursing anyone. So there we go, Camillo Metello. Mark Sykes is now down in 23rd place. That is Sean Shute in front of him. Mark and Sean now are both in bronze and silver, respectively. And Mark is battling, trying to close it up on Sean Shute. So there we go. Mark Sykes there, trying to close up on Sean Shute. But the field are very spread out.
Yeah, Mark last week had a pretty good race last week, if I remember correctly. Let me take a look at where he ended up in bronze. Yeah, he was up actually in first.
Yeah. Getting
the fastest lap in both the sprint and the feature race. With 41 points. Coming into this race just doesn't seem to have done it for him.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. There's a lot of things that went on in this race. There was a lot of things that could throw somebody off as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, Mark's where Mark is because Mark was in there because of the racing that's taken place. So I think from Mark's point of view, he's 23rd overall, 4th in class, done a stellar job, really.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope when you say stellar, you don't mean as in exploding star supernova. Let's really hope you don't see an explosion here. An explosion would not be what we want to see.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We do have Gazza Williams closing down on Santos. Santos has got 6 minutes or about 3 laps remaining as well. The reigning champ is back at it. Camillo Metello and Mark Fletcher. Your front 2 there as well. So Mark Fletcher, I believe, it was Mark Fletcher who was the reigning champion last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
If I'm not mistaken, it was.
Correct us if I'm wrong. Correct us if we're wrong in chat.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I think it was Mark Fletcher who was the reigning champion from last year. Maybe. Well, let me know either way. So Gazza Williams still chasing down Santos there as well. Dory has got Tom Dadswell not far behind him as well on lap 55. Not where Dory really wanted to be. Jamie Dory here this late on in the race having Dadswell pressure him. But I am going to look at Gianni, where is 11th in gold? It is
Simone Papaiola. Would be place 11.
He has just been off track at the end of the lap.
We're seeing this one turn again. Oh no.
He got contact from the wall when he went off in track. Jamie Dory is under attack from Dadswell, and Dory looks like he's got the pressure on him at the moment because he's running wide as well. So there we go.
I mean, he's got 5 minutes to hold him off. Dadswell obviously coming in number 1 into this race, starting in last place in gold, apart from people who weren't in last week. Jamie Dory, it's possible. It's not unheard of to hold someone off for 5 minutes, but when it's Tom Dadswell...
It's not, it's done. On the run down.
It's done.
It's done. It's done already in the right left-hander. Oh, they're going to be side by side. Going to be side by side.
Still got some fight in him.
No,
he's still got some fight in him.
Dadswell's going to run him. No, he's going to run him now. Oh, if he don't get him now, he's down into turn 1. Like to point out as well, the comment for you, Matt, in YouTube. He says, I've got to say, the racing has been good, but the commentary has been golden. Now Matt needs to do a week of studying classic motorsport drivers. Get on it, Matt. Get on it. Right, as you can see.
Oh, my God.
Let's see this Dory, Dadswell, play out as they rush down into turn 1 now. Dory on the left, Dadswell on the right in the BMW, and they're still going to be side by side in turn 1. Dadswell's going to get it. It tightens up a little bit. Oh, nearly off track. Gets a little bit. Yeah, that could have been a lot worse. The thing for Dory is he's got to go around turn 3 and try and stay as close as he can now on this run down, the long run down the Marine Sweep. And it could be an opportunity if he gets down into the here. Whether or not he can make this move. It's whether or not he can get down there quick enough. He's got the draft. He's using it as well. Dadswell's taking the inside line. He's not going to give that up. Dory does not want to run around the outside of turn 5. It's not going to happen, mate. I can let you know that now. No, got to try and get on the gas. He's trying to get up on the hill, up into 6. Under the bridge they go. Dadswell takes the inside line. Dory now is still coming, trying to battle up and find him. Slight contact on the rear side there. And away they go.
Great defense by Dadswell.
Oh, Dadswell, get it done.
Great defense by Dadswell there to fend off. That was a great attack by Dory, but Dadswell just not letting him anywhere near, keeping on that inside line. story. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there, trying to go on the outside of turn 5. But it looks like it didn't quite work out for him. Dadswell coming into 3rd place. How many places has he gone up, James? He's had a bit of a mountain to climb after.
Yeah, he's gone up 6.
After the incident.
Yeah, he's gone up 6 from a grid spot.
For Tom Dadswell. Santos still holding on against Gaza Williams as well. This is definitely going to be the closest battle of these last couple minutes. 2.5 minutes remaining. Santos, it's going to be close. Obviously, Santos, he's going to have to try and.
He's got him.
But no, Gaza Williams goes ahead. Could almost be looking at a little bit of contact here, but Santos obviously already having an amazing race. It's whether he can keep these last few places from slipping away from him in these last 2 minutes.
It's not helped.
1 lap.
It's not helped. He's got Chris Daines behind him.
Exactly.
He's got Chris Daines.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. He's got a hold against Chris Daines as well.
Where is our leader? Now, our leader's fine. We're going to have, we're going to have this one and one more, and then we're going to be on the last black. 6 places from his grid position, but 24 up from the start crash. Yeah. He's made his way through the order, but what we've only got is obviously, I can only show you what we've got from where his grid spot was. So as you can see, Santos is up 13 from where his grid spot was. Dadswell and Fletcher are up 6 and 5 respectively. So that's why we can't give you that information from where they crashed. Obviously, we know they were involved in the crash. We know they went all the way down the bottom of the field. But we can obviously only give you from where their grid slot position was. The software doesn't quite allow us to do some fancy things like that, young sir, as well. So, but thank you very much for sticking with us. Glad you liked what's going on as well. I think someone must have painted the word dimorphos. What?
Huh?
I don't know. I can't read that word.
Dimorphos wasn't the word Carmelo went into. I'm a bit confused there as well, to be honest. But
yeah, I don't think Carmelo went in.
We'll keep going.
Yeah, we'll keep going. I don't think Carmelo went into a wall. We're still in P1.
Yeah, he's still 40 seconds ahead as well.
Yeah, and he's just gone through to take the final white flag of the race. So this should be the final lap, if I'm not mistaken, of the race for Carmelo. And now Chris Daines is climbing all over the back of Santos. And poor Santos now really wants to hold on to that position. This close at the end. Daines is going around the outside. He's going to go down into Canada corner. Job done from Santos. From Daines, sorry. And now Santos is now up down into 7th. Daines up into 6th.
Great textbook offense.
Yeah, so
great textbook offense from Daines there. It's just slip in front of Santos. Santos kind of try and fight off Stefan Wessels as well. He's only a second behind. Yeah,
Dadswell now is coming across the line, and that is the white flag there as well. So Francisco Santos has done an absolutely stellar job, and I think if there was a driver of the day, I'd be putting Santos up in it purely. 100%. Yeah, 100%. But I've also got to look at Mark Fletcher and Tom Dadswell, who made their way all the way through the field from the back of the grid, practically after this accident.
Yeah. Don't forget Daniel Sitzman as well, to class leader for bronze, still sitting in 14th. What's sitting in 7th place for the first half of this endurance race? Until the pit, he lost a few places.
Yeah.
He's still fighting ahead of Stefan Albanese, Paul Scott, and Adam Hitchcock. It's pretty good from Daniel Sitzman there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think, to be honest, any of these have done a terrible job. You can't sit back and say, oh, yeah, well, this, and this. No, it's been an absolute stunning race here from Carmelo Metelo. It's almost been a masterclass, as he is going to come across the line and take the checkered flag. There is Carmelo Metelo. Takes the checkered flag here this evening, wins the 2-hour endurance at Road America. Mark Fletcher from Altitude Esports will come home in 2nd place. There is a long gap around the track, so we will catch up with as many people as we can as they come across the line. Some have finished already. Daniel Sitzman, Stefan Albanese has finished there as well. We're going to be having the likes of 23rd position, which is Sean Shute, has just got it into the pits, which was a little bit of a bad timing. Yeah, bad timing. Whether or not he ran out of fuel, of course, it could be a different matter. Yeah. As we see the 16th place man as well come across the line, that is Paul Stott. Mark Fletcher there as well, and then we go down into 17th. Adam Hedgecock has come across the line and finished. Darren Doherty has also finished as well. Tom Dadswell comes across the line there in 3rd and 4th, and then we got this battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. Gazza Williams and Chris Daines coming up to the line, and then of course we've got Francisco Santos. Absolutely stunning victory, up
Amazing.
12 places from him. So pure
Great racing.
great great racing there as well. And then we've got Papiola as well. He will be coming across the line very, very shortly. There is a car in Carmelo, P1 baby P1.
Car. Oh yeah, I get it because his name has car in it.
Oh, okay.
There we go, Biggles.
Boom, boom, cha-ching. Got there. Don't you worry about it. So there we go. Mike Sykes comes across the line. Papiola comes across the line as well. So, and here is Gianni Peroni. He is also looking at coming across the line in 12th place. Samuel de Oliveira in 13th, second overall in class as well. So well done to you, Sam. Absolutely stellar job. And then obviously behind that there is Daniel Sitzman. But I think that was Paul. No, where is this Audi? Not going there, clearly. That was
what the hell happened there?
Paul Williams.
Jesus.
So there we go.
There we go.
Right, the results are up for this race. And here we go. Camilla Metello is your victory by 42 seconds over Mark Fletcher. Tom Dadswell in 3rd place. Jamie Dory in 4th. Gazza Williams 5th. Chris Daines in 6th there. Oh, look at that. Francisco Santos is in 7th place. Stephen Wessels in 8th. Adam Watson 9th. Gavin Gardner in 10th. Simone Papiola in 11th, Gianni Peroni in 12th, Sam de Oliveira in 13th, Daniel Sitzman 14th, Stephen Albanese in 15th, Paul Scott 16th, Adam Hedgecock 17th, and Darren Doherty in 18th place. Beyond that, we've got Baz Meacham 19th, Nigel Stock in 20th, Paul Williams is in 21st, Mike Sykes is in 22nd, Sean Shute in 23rd, Matt Anemans is down in 24th after going into the pits, Robert Adams in the pits as well, Liam Tack and Rafael De Santos all in the pits, did not finish this evening's race. So
we also should reiterate that Rafael De Santos did apologize for the initial crash. He has shown nothing but remorse about that. So no hate towards Rafael De Santos. It's a mistake a lot of people would make.
Exactly, and he has come out and openly said he's going to apologise. He's apologised, so well done to him as well. Let me just see if we can get anyone into the booth this evening and see if anybody fancies to chat. I know we're running a little bit behind schedule. I think everybody's probably gone off and maybe looking at going to bed due to the fact that we are running a bit behind due to a little bit of confusion that went on earlier on setting up the sessions. So let's give it a couple of minutes. But if you are here, guys, as I say, don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up and give the subscription a button smash as well. That would be absolutely incredible. And don't forget to turn on the bells for notifications, because at the end of the day, you want to be first to hear all the action. Santos, sorry, still your stockings are full of victories. Well, Santa has...
Because Santos.
Oh,
it's funny.
Is it? Who said that?
I'm laughing so much, Biggles.
Right, we have got somebody in for a chat. He's coming to join me. Let's welcome in my friend Adam Hedgecock into the booth. Adam, how are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah,
Not too bad.
good race.
Yeah. No. No, after that big one at the start, the field was so spread. It was so hard to catch anyone. It was shame, really.
Yeah, it was. I think that first sort of, I want to say first lap, but I don't even think we made it past the first lap. We didn't get past start finishing straight. You know, I think that caused a lot of people spread out across the whole entire race. It wasn't just one class, was it? It was everyone was out of position almost going into the rest of the opening sort of sector of this race, really.
Yeah, the people that got through it got a massive advantage because they, like for example, I was not damaged in it, but I was stuck behind a car that was waiting to turn round that was behind another car. And before you know it, 30 seconds had gone past, and you're not going to make that up in a race. You're not going to make that up with strategy, and it just jumbled everything. So it's one of those, but I'm sure it looked pretty good on the broadcast, right?
Oh, mate, it was incredible. You know me, I love a good little piece of action. However, I would have preferred it a bit later on and not right at the beginning. But it was absolutely incredible. And I think, we got a chopper picture of it all. Santos has come out and apologised, which is fair play to him. It's wrote a message in chat about it and everything else. So that's done as far as I'm concerned and dusted from him. But yeah, it did look good. But look, onwards and upwards. I think that's the only thing we can really say now, can't we? Because we've got the kind of the difficult endurance out of the way. Onwards and upwards to the next one.
Yeah. Where are we next? I don't even know the calendar.
You don't know where you are next?
I don't even know what I had for dinner this evening. I struggle keeping track of where I'm going and what I'm doing.
Right, so next week we are in Silverstone GP circuit.
Okay, yeah, I like Silverstone. Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that?
We can do that. Yeah, no, I like Silverstone, so I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, also as well, if you do sit back and watch it, there was a lot of love. All right.
Oh, did you read my thing today?
I might have done towards the end.
Oh, dude.
About 25 minutes. All right. But there was a lot of love for you in chat, man, as well. So some of the message as well. Shane Abbott, huge things to mention. What a top fella. There was a couple as well. Biggles, he's obviously one of my co-commentators. Good on you, mate. Mental health is not easy to win. You are a champion for that, mate. Great job. And then Andy Maxwell, one of the other guys I rate in the league. Good for you, Adam. I was lucky enough to take part in the 2019 23 hours of Zolder with Jimmy Broadbent for the Mind Charity. Best result, finishing fourth. So, so a lot of love. So well done to you, young sir, for what you're achieving currently. And, well...
That's amazing. Thank you, everybody.
No,
Can I just say, by the way, because I heard Mind, Mind is incredible. Mind is something that I've supported for a long time, and it doesn't happen often. But if I win cash prizes while driving, it goes to Mind as a donation.
Well, that's even more incredible. Isn't it?
So, like I say, it doesn't happen often, but any money won in leagues, then yes, it goes.
Well, there you go.
To them.
Well, still, at the end of the day, mate, an incredible feat what you're achieving. So fair play to you. We have, we're moving on to Silverstone next week, mate, and I hope you have a great race in Silverstone. But thank you. It's been a pleasure, as it always is, talking to you, and thank you so much for coming to join me in the booth.
Yeah, no, thank you, my friend. Thank you. And Matt, let's not ignore Matt in
No.
the entire time.
Sorry, my mic is having issues, but yeah, it was a good race, Adam.
Awesome.
All right, you take care, buddy.
Doodles.
There we go. That was Adam Hedgecock in the booth for his post-race interview, as always. Right, Matt, give me one sentence to sum up the races.
One hell of a crash, but we had some great racing from some people we didn't expect it from.
Well, there you go. Absolutely incredible there as well, guys. But that is bringing out to the end of the broadcast. So all that's left for me to say now is you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, I may see you on the track sometime. Good night.
Goodbye, y'all.